You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Welcome to the 1st of November, punters and dribblers. We officially open November. It's just the way it is. November, man, you and I always have been, and this is the official ribbon cutting of November. So welcome to, it's obviously the podcast, but you're actually here to the launch of November.
Yeah, look, it's the official launch of November. We do it every year, Tom and I. It's become sacred, become a part of, who we are.
Yeah, as a show.
Yeah, as a show. If you were to say to me, does it define you as a show? I'd say probably not too long a bow to draw.
No, I'd say that for the longest time, we've certainly, all eyes have been looking towards November 1 for the big launch, and this is it.
We're here. Can't believe we've made it.
We're fucking Melbourne Cup tomorrow, it's official. I think it's like the start of the silly season, November 1.
Well, I think officially, if you were to talk to scholars, Tom, and that's who I sort of default to on matters of, such importance.
Yeah, of silly season importance.
Yeah, scholars have always said, scholars of silly season, that it begins once the Melbourne Cup race begins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 3 p.m. on the first Tuesday in November when the gates open and the ponies are galloping, silly season's off. It's sort of like a metaphor.
Yes. But that's why November 1 is when we launch the silly season officially, because there's an official launch and there's a spiritual launch.
That's right.
Spiritual launch is obviously Melbourne Cup.
That's right.
When the gates open.
That's right.
But officially,
yes,
silly season launches this morning, and we were asked by organisers of the silly season to launch it. Well, we have been asked every year.
Yeah.
And it's something that we take very seriously.
What's not to take seriously? I'd ask you this. Is there a more important season than silly season?
No, there isn't.
Not to my knowledge.
It's also the season that doesn't get the fucking clout it probably deserves. It's like, spring, winter, fucking summer. It's like, what about silly?
What about silly season?
Have we ever fucking, it's probably the most taxing season of and it goes for longer than 3 months,
I think it's fair to say that it goes for 3 months. Silly season begins November 1 and it ends
January
31st.
Yeah.
That's why February's such a tough month, because we know that silly season's behind us. We know that there's no sport on. We know that we have to grind and grind and grind.
Till we get back here again, because we just got a whole year ahead of us.
Well, we grind at least until the first NRL game.
Yes.
Know that.
You're definitely grinding through like the fucking echoes of the summer of cricket, Big Bash still being played for what reason, no one knows. But yeah, dude, look, official silly season launch. We bounced ourselves out, I think it's fair to say, on the weekend. I did anyway. I know that you're a bit more
got the stomach for it, man.
You've got a bit more of the constitution for it. I don't anymore. And this morning was tough. Last night was tough. If you're watching the YouTube, you'll notice that sunglasses are on. That is about self-preservation as much as anything. I've been wearing them basically all day yesterday.
I'm wearing them almost as like a nod to you.
Yeah, thank you. In solidarity.
Like in solidarity, support.
I do believe that you are. I can tell when you're hurt, though, even though
I'm not hurt.
No, I can.
But I'm not on. I can tell where you're at.
Yep, I was.
And given the conversation we had on the phone yesterday, I could hear a broken man who's.
There was I was like a wild horse that had been broken in, and it's like, you know what? I thought I was able to still be a wild horse, but it's like, no, you broke me. You broke me. I'm not a wild horse anymore. I'm not I've got a saddle on now, I'm not a fucking wild.
You're at pony camp now.
I'm at pony camp.
Yeah, and you're going to be walked everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know
never
what?
get up to a canter anymore.
No. I just got someone, I just walk around the barn giving fucking trips to paying customers. I don't run anymore.
Nah. You certainly don't run down the sides of mountains in the snow.
No.
Nah.
I don't gallop free and pure and true with the fucking wind in my, long
your mane. Yeah.
Nah.
Just ripping and tearing.
Yeah.
No, you're a pony horse now.
I'm a pony horse, and you know what? The sooner you accept what you are,
yeah, The sooner you can get on with the job of,
ferrying kids and families around barns.
around barns. Or around shows, like at Dubbo show and shit, there's like a little pony section you get walked around. I don't know if those ponies are local ponies or if they do the
circuit.
The show circuit, Bathurst to Dubbo to Lithgow to Orange to fucking
all over the shop.
Maybe that's your calling.
I mean, I'd
do the Central West show circuit.
I'd prefer to be known as like the number one barn pony of my region, as opposed to taking the show on the road. Like,
you don't want to be a carny pony.
No. But I'd prefer to be like a legend in my own lunchbox sort of thing. Like, I'm a local town hero.
Yep.
As opposed to, the preeminent barn pony the nation has.
What do you see as like the hallmarks of success for a good sort of barn pony career?
Well, it's your fucking disposition has to be faultless. You have to just be friendly, docile, and basically checked out, like, emotionally, I think.
Mate, I'm hearing you.
You just got to be like, this is it for me now. I'm a barn pony, and I'm going to make sure I'm the best goddamn barn pony there is. But, like,
does longevity come into it, or is it more attitude?
I think attitude certainly aids longevity, Edward, because if you go in there every day loving what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So I've got to learn to love the barn pony life, and then...
And you think you can learn to love it?
Oh, I think I can, mate. Again, it's a mindset thing, right? Like, could be worse.
Things could be worse.
I could be like one of the Sherpa donkeys going up fucking mountains every day.
You could be in the glue factory.
I could be glued, dude.
You could be glued.
You could be in a
U-stick. You count your blessings that you still got a good barn career.
Yeah, dude. Mate, get up, fucking...
Or you could be a Sherpa's donkey, like you say, going up to Mount Everest or something.
It'd be a fucking nightmare, freezing my dick off.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to spend your career in the Himalayas.
Nah,
That's what we do now.
Nah, especially not if I'm like not an animal evolved to survive there. It's just like, oh no, I brought a donkey from one of the lower regions and now he's up here freezing his ass off carrying fucking shit up a mountain.
In high altitude.
Yeah.
He's a low altitude donkey.
Yeah, he can't even breathe. Like, what the fuck? And if shit goes wrong, well, who's the first fucking rope they're cutting loose? It's like, they're not fucking hanging around for me.
Nah.
Sorry, donkey.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking us up the mountain.
They wouldn't even bother looking for you if there was an avalanche.
Fuck no, they wouldn't. Are you kidding me? Expendable.
But
good weekend.
Had a ball. Obviously, those that tuned into to Saddle Club.
Saddle Club about even live.
We salute you. It was a hell of a good day.
We didn't punt.
Were we a little thin on the winner? Yes. I think we could say that.
I picked one winner all day. Two winners all day. Sorry.
I went through my bet slip and it was like, there was some returns in there, sure. But there was some no returns in there.
Yeah, there was plenty of no returns. All responsibly, of course, but that doesn't mean that you can't gamble responsibly and lose money. And that's what happened.
Well, bet within your means, Tom.
Bet within your means. And then that doesn't mean you're not going to be disappointed when... within your means, you didn't manage to pick a single fucking horse, essentially. Ooh, has he hurt himself here? But it was fun, Eddie. That's what matters most, is it was fun. Shout out to Kempy, obviously, for allowing us to use the studio every day, but specifically for the live stream. And then obviously to Wings and Tins for, that looks ACL-y.
Yeah, Wins and Tins
for providing some chow.
Unbelievable food.
Really good shit.
When all the food arrived, I'm like, we won't get through this. We did.
We tell you what, though. I know that maple something wings from Wings and Tins. Honestly, they could bring you to completion.
Well, it's the maple.
It's the fucking maple. It's something in there as well. It wasn't too spicy. I can't handle.
I didn't know you couldn't handle spice.
I can handle spice.
You were sucking.
Well, but I can handle
all
spice.
Day about spice. Oh, this is spicy. Oh, you said this wasn't spicy, but it is.
Well, because you said it wasn't.
And it wasn't though.
But it was though.
It was.
Okay. Put it this way. Hold on. If you say that something isn't something, then it can't be at all.
I said, it's not too bad.
No. You said it's not spicy, and then I add it, and I go, well, that's a fucking lie because my mouth is burning. And you're like, oh, it's not spicy. I'm like, listen, it either isn't spicy or it is. It might be not very spicy, but don't tell me it's not spicy. Then lead me down the garden path of a spice-free wing. I indulge in it, and then my mouth burns.
On a 1 to 10 spice-ometer.
Yes. It wasn't
It was a 1.
It wasn't a... No.
Yeah, it was.
No.
It was a 1.
No.
Punters and dribblers.
That's
so
a
that if I say it's not spicy and it's
Tabasco's a 1, dude.
It was a 1.
It was not a 1.
It was a 1.
But...
You reckon Tabasco's a 1? I reckon Tabasco's half.
Well, whatever. I'm giving Tabasco
It's a
1.
0.5.
No, well, whatever. But that's not a 1.
That was a 1.
No, it wasn't a 1. But it wasn't that bad. But I was lied to. But no, the spice, I don't mind spice. I just don't like it where it's
I
becomes
don't think
like,
you do like spice.
I don't mind spice.
What I saw on the weekend was a man that doesn't like spice.
Well, it just depends because I like Tabasco. I know that you're trying to like play.
Do you
down
get
Tabasco.
chili on burgers?
Yes. I do. Oh, God, my voice. I'm sorry. It's fucking struggling. Yeah, but I mean, not like religiously, but I get like chili on pizzas, you know? Again, whatever. I bounced out yesterday because obviously I was concerned about getting back on the sauce and then getting back into an unhealthy lifestyle after I've just become the skinniest man of all time.
Yeah, but you did have a whole thing of ice cream on Friday, you told me.
That's what I'm saying. I had an ice cream bender on Friday night into pissy
Your
Saturday.
rationale of having to finish the ice cream in one sitting because you don't want to eat it all week is hilarious.
Yeah. So Steph and I
It doesn't make any sense. You know?
No, I think it does.
It doesn't, though.
Punters and Dribbles, leave a comment in the YouTube if you agree or if you disagree. I don't care. But we get a tub of ice cream, cookies and cream, connoisseur, undefeated, nothing better in the cookies and cream game anyway. But
Yeah, in the cookies and cream game, for sure.
if it's there, I'm like, we have to finish this thing tonight because I don't want it sitting around the house and me like snacking on ice cream all week. So I feel like that prolongs the bad behavior. Whereas if you just pick a day and you go, all right, listen, I'm fucking cheat meal Sundays like The Rock, like Dwayne to Claus, then you just sort of get it out of your system.
But yeah, I understand that. But do you have the self-discipline to get it out of your system and then remain pure
Discipline?
for the rest of the week?
Monday to Friday,
Or do you start sneaking a few Timmies in there and stuff like that?
I reckon Monday to Friday, my ability to be pure is pretty good. But like Friday ice cream, Saturday had fucking, wings and tins, piss for days,
Plenty of loaves.
loaves and loaves and loaves. And then yesterday, Plumer Road chicken, chips and gravy,
Nice.
then a Porto's for dinner. And I was full when a Porto's arrived. I'd been snacking on cheese and shit all day, like
What'd you get from Porto's?
a Prego burger.
Large?
Yeah. Didn't go chips again, though. I thought,
Oh, you didn't get chips?
well, I'd already had chips that day.
Okay, well, that's not too. You just got the burger.
Just got the burger.
That's all right. That's all right. You got the triple fillet.
I got the biggest possible fucking burger I could get, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't...
What chip size did you get from Plumer?
Small, and they were humongous.
Yeah, they're big down there. They're big. I thought you might have gone the family. I was like,
No.
that'll put you in a coma.
No, because I was at home by myself, and I knew that the chips were like, they size up a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
they
you
do
want a
size
small... Basically, don't go any less than a small if it's so don't go any more than a small if it's just a one-man job. I couldn't finish them.
Did you get a fork out? Douse some gravy?
Tub of gravy,
Counter?
yeah, of course I fucking did.
Yeah, nice. Good for you.
Did you do anything?
Oh, I caught up with a couple of friends. Max Downs was in town, so nipped down to Bondi and then went to Benny Porter's place for a few.
Oh, you got on it again, Edward.
I had a couple. I had a few seltzers in the sun. It was
that's the
glorious.
constitution of a man.
It was glorious. Seltzers in the sun. Thanks for coming.
Well, that'll hurt. Did you get in the water?
Fucking hell.
Oh, you got wet. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
got wet. Had a quick bake. Got on the seltzers. They made lunch. Lovely way to spend an afternoon.
Is Maxie not in Sydney anymore?
No,
Where's he?
he lives out on his farm.
Oh.
So it was good to see the big fella.
Yeah, of course.
Big fella as well.
Good.
Big fella's flying.
Fantastic.
But I was still like, it was still a bit of a struggle to get through the day. Watched Kissing Booth last night.
Oh, okay.
Netflix rom-com.
I got into a rom-com on the weekend as well.
It was good stuff.
Yeah. Kissing Booth. Who stars in it?
Don't know anyone in it. I don't think that was important. it's basically the premise, Punters and Dribblers, is a girl and a boy born on the same day. They're like family friends. They're best friends their whole life.
Yeah.
Then she starts to get feelings for the older brother.
Oh, no.
Which the best friend doesn't like.
Of course.
Therein lies the script.
Yep.
There's a kissing booth involved, obviously.
Well, I would fucking hope so.
Of course there is.
High school setting.
High school setting.
Great.
Yep. The boy she likes is the year above. He's a senior. She's a junior.
Yep. And her best friend, same year.
And the best friend, same year. Born same day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I also got involved in a bit of rom-com action as well, Eddie, over the weekend. Now, maybe it was Friday night. Either way, a young James Franco, was like the bad guy lead, but he was, he wasn't the main character, but he was the bad guy. He was on the front cover of the thing, so I'm thinking it's a Franco film. It sort of was. Whatever It Takes is what it's called. Your quintessential late 90s, early 2000s high school rom-com. It had it had these two friends who, the chick who's meant to be like the nerdy fucking chick who's just like way too hot for that to be a reality. No.
Do they try to make her look ugly at the start?
They just try to make her look a little plain Jane, but it's like she is a smoke show. So that's just not... I mean, that's the classic hallmark of the rom-com anyway, so I understand that going in, but she was not at all befitting of the position they'd placed her in. She lives directly opposite her balcony and the balcony of this other guy who's also too good looking to be a geek. And they're really good friends, but they're all outcasts. And then he's like obsessed with the hottest chick in school. Then the hottest guy in school is obsessed with this super hot geek chick. So Franco, hottest guy in school, nerd guy, they team up. Franco helping him get the hot chick, him helping her get the thingo, but then in so doing, he realised he's actually in love with the geek chick, and it's fucking...
Okay. Loved it?
I mean, I watched it. I wouldn't say loved it. I tell you what, it's just funny when you see these shows, especially in like the context now of like the post-Me Too world and all things like that, and you watch and you just see these scenes like, you go, fuck me, it was like... Just even these just tiny little elements of a film where you're like, fuck, dude. It all seems so much more red hot now that you see it with like a new context. When you're young, you see, think about American Pie. They go and fucking sneak a camera into the room while she gets changed. And like, that's celebrated in that movie. Like, dude, this is so funny. They're all fucking Blink-182's watching her get changed and shit. And it's like... secret cameras. Oh, that's what happens in this one. The guy sneaks into the fucking chick's dressing room and he's watching this chick shower nude. And I'm like, this is fucking disgraceful. Me and Steph watching it like, fucking hell.
Yeah, that was celebrated 100%.
That was like scallywag. Oh, look at this little guy. Look at this young horny guy going to watch a chick shower nude. Like, talk about like encroaching on personal space. I mean, a creepy fuck. It was just passed off as like, look at this funny guy, this love-struck guy. No, he's like he's got a problem. He needs to go see someone.
This guy's not well. This guy's sick.
Yeah, but it was normalised hard. Anyway, does that detract from the rom-com? Not much. I still watched it. It was still good from a... this is horrible standpoint. And the reason I watched it...
I think, but you need a bit of horrible in a Sunday bounced out rom-com, I think.
Yeah. The reason I watched it as well was because you inspired me by watching fucking She's the Man or whatever the hell it was.
Sydney something.
Yeah, right. Whatever the fuck it was.
Sydney Smith or something stupid like that. It was Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, same one.
Who was also in
Think Like a
She's
Man
the
or
Man.
whatever. She's a Man. Yeah, so that you've got me back into like paying attention to the rom-com because I'd sort of shut down a little bit, probably just with the footy season. You just sort of go, listen, my job probably should be more focused on rugby league for now, but now I've got some time to breathe. Silly season as well, the rom-com can sort of start coming back in, I think.
Oh, it's come back.
Yeah.
The silly season probably does its best work in silly season. The rom-com probably does its best work in the silly season. Just because the nature of the work that you get up to in silly season.
You're more bounced out.
It's a bit more nefarious. You're more often bounced out. And you got more downtime, as it were, at least on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's when the rom-com goes, g'day, mate. Have you forgotten about me? I'm here to help. I'm here to soothe. I'm here to numb you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to think a great deal.
It's a numbing agent. the rom-com. It's meant to numb you.
To a degree. I do find myself getting a little too invested, like, if you know what I mean, from the perspective of, if I'm feeling a bit anxious, then I start to feel a bit anxious for the characters. To the point where last night, like, there was a scene where it's sort of like, so we ended up getting onto the kissing booth 2.
you buried that part of the fucking story, didn't you? This movie had a sequel.
It's a threequel. It's a trilogy.
Usually, that's an indicator of the success of the film, right? Like, they're not going to fucking fund 2 and 3 if one wasn't a hit.
We got through like half an hour of the second one, but at the start of it, it was like there's sort of like the best friend, the two best friends, boy and girl, but then the boy's got a girlfriend, and then there's sort of like scenes where it's getting a little bit awkward, like because it's like fighting for his attention.
Yeah,
I had to pause it. And Ella's like, "You need to get a grip, mate, because this is the kissing booth 2 that we're talking about. Get a grip."
Yeah, this isn't Saving Private Ryan, dude. Relax.
And I've got it paused, collecting myself.
This is too much. Holy shit. This is the kissing booth 2. You need to get a grip. Is a sentence. Is an absolute sentence you don't expect. All right, well, look, I'm gonna put that on my short list. I find with Netflix sometimes it's hard to find, like,
Find what?
Like rom-coms that I haven't seen. It's always like the same shit.
You just go to rom-com section.
I know. I'm like, but I've just pounded a lot.
I think sometimes you just got to make a call and you just go to the rom-com section. If you haven't seen one, you just click it. Look, it might look shit.
Yeah,
it might look awful.
In fact, it will look shit. Most likely.
But therein lies the gem.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
We've acknowledged they don't make them like they used to.
No.
But if you, much like, coming to the realization that you are now a barn pony, if you accept where we're at as a rom-com,
the standard of rom-com is that. Yeah.
you can learn to love again.
There's one that's old. It's got Kevin Hart in it, and I can't remember who else. Fuck me. So this is going to be horrible, but it's on Netflix, and it was like a hidden gem one where I was like, oh, this is really fucking funny. Kevin Hart, and then the chick from Scary Movie, not the one that's Sydney, I can't remember. The one who's like the real, like the, you know what? This is where I officially stop.
How old are we talking?
Just type in Kevin Hart, like Kevin Hart, Brian Callen.
Was he in it?
He's in it for a second, but I know him from Fighter and the Kid, so like rom-com. It's like a where are we now? How did the they're all named these weird fucking like
not Ride Along.
No.
He isn't that.
How did we get here?
Something like that, dude. Honestly, it's probably called that.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Is he breathtaking,
He's just funny. But he's not even the main character in it.
Not Easily Broken?
No.
Something Like a Business?
Nah.
Are we talking like 2010-ish?
Yeah.
Let Go, 35 and Ticking, Think Like a Man.
Think Like a Man might be it.
Exit Strategy.
Think Like a Man.
I think it might.
Have a look if Brian Callen's in this one.
Look. Fuck it,
Four friends conspire to turn the tables on their women when they discover the ladies have been using Steve Harvey's relationship advice against them.
Not it.
That's weird.
I think we make an executive decision to call it here.
I'd like to.
And move on with our
I
lives.
think that we have to, Eddie. I think for the good of the show, for the good of the brand, for the good of you and me, we have to move on. Quickly, Sunday, fucking monster UFC card. Is Jarch in town? Or is he still in the country?
He's back. I'm at a box.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fucking watching it with those two then.
About last night. Sorry.
About last night.
Got it.
Watch it, Ponies Dribblers, and you should add that to your rotation.
About last night.
You'll enjoy it, and you'll be like, okay.
Well, it's Sunday.
Yeah. There's
Sunday
also
sorted.
some nudity. So,
Okay.
again, nothing grotesque, nothing over the top, tasteful, you and the missus on a Sunday bounced out watching a bit of nudity together. You'll thank me later. Is that the podcast, Eddie? Are we done?
I think we're done.
I think we're done. I think that's as good as it's getting.
No dribbles this week, obviously.
No.
Check us out About Even.
Yeah, About Even's on podcasts on YouTube, and
we'll catch you later.
The punter and the dribbler know that all cricket World Cup yarns on this show brought to you by our good friends at KO, and we thank KO for their support. You can catch every single game of the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, Men's Cricket World Cup, exclusive to Fox Cricket. You can catch the games on KO. If you haven't got it, fucking sign up, free trials, or just sign up because it's the smarter option. Eddie, you and I were talking, and you had sort of said to me, like, the first thing you said to me was like, how do you do it? And I was like, what? You're like, how do you do it? And I was again like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're like, dude, please tell me how you do it. And at that point I was like concerned. I know. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about, Eddie? And then you're like, how are you so fucking good at tipping cricket?
Did I say that?
Do you remember, like, just before we started recording? You're like, how the fuck are you so good at tipping cricket?
I thought I said we both tipped it.
That was what you said afterwards. And I was like, you were like, dude,
we both tipped
you were like, bro, you are 4 from 6 cricket bets. Like, do you have a secret? I don't. It's just knowledge.
Just knowledge? Just tapped in?
Just fucking good, dude.
Good for you, mate. I think I'd be 3. I think I'm like 3 from 6.
I don't know about that. But
I'd be pretty close to that.
2 is close, you know what I mean? And that's like way worse than 50%.
No, it wouldn't be 2. And I think it's been more. I think it's been 7 games now, mate.
Maybe
Could it even be 8?
No, because we only did 3. We only did on 3 cricket games a show. And then there was the one on the weekend, but we were picking that when we were
So it's 7.
smashed.
So it's 7.
I wouldn't exactly call the Saturday night one. I can't believe we even played that. We missed that completely. Anyway, let's get into the cricket, Eddie.
Yes. Should we start with... Do we want to start positive or negative?
I don't care, mate. What do you reckon? Well, I'm going to leave it up to you.
Okay, I'll start positive. Last week on the Thursday show, Punters and Dribblers, we talked about how Aaron Finch and David Warner had started to practice on polished concrete in a bid to lift the spirit of the team
and the standard of the opening
batters. Pleased to announce that that's exactly what David Warner did.
Yeah.
Against Sri Lanka. He goes out and he was about 75 odd, Tom.
Something like that.
He was dropped on 18. So some eagle-eyed punters might go, listen, he was given a bit of a reprieve. But I would say this, he did go on with it.
And I'd also say this, go through every fucking one of the Don's hundreds or Smudge's tons and you'd go, there'd be a few chances in those hundreds. But no one remembers the chances. They just remember the fucking glory.
You need a bit of luck in this business, Tom.
Yeah.
I've always said it. You've always said it. The punter and the dribbler's always said it. You need a bit of luck in this business. And he got a bit of luck and he went on with the job, and Sri Lanka we put to the sword. So that was good. I think as a nation we're going, okay.
And Aaron got some runs as well. Aaron got about 30 odd, which is, I'm cool with that in a T20 context. You know, it wasn't the worst. Big Show still to fire in this tournament. Needs Show to fire. I think that's fair to say.
Well, I think we can turn our attention to England, the England game, and we can sort of bring it all back together.
Tie it up. Blow it up.
Tie it up.
Well, should we? Yeah, no, keep going.
So England, the big match, you know, the old foe, the old rival. What do they got? They're the number 1 team in the world T20 wise. We're not, you know, we're not thereabouts in the rankings at all. I think we're 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
But Australians always turn up. That's what we know. Not on this occasion.
No.
We got pounded into the earth.
Yeah.
We got pounded into the earth. We lost by 8 wickets and 50 runs, 50 balls.
We were 3 for 19 or something. When I got home on Saturday night, cooked, had to sleep on the couch because Daddy smelt like booze. Flicked on the crib with 3 for 19. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It was an absolute shambles. David Warner was out for one, like marching down the pitch to a fast guy, nicks off, like, mate, what are you doing? That was a bold choice.
How much time did you spend on the polished concrete before that game?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like you've gone back to
the practice wickets.
Exactly, to the slow practice wickets. Because you wouldn't do that on concrete, Tom.
No, you wouldn't.
Charge down the wicket to a quick.
No.
Not on the polished
It
stuff.
doesn't make sense on the polished concrete. You got to know better. Maybe it's just a lack of time on the polished concrete for Dave. It worked, but it's like, bro, you need to be on that polished shit like every day.
Well, I think you got to be on there rain, hail or shine, morning, afternoon, evening, Tom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want him 6 or 7 hours on the polished stuff a day.
Yes.
And if he was, you wouldn't see him running down the pitch to a quick.
No.
Because that would make no sense. Smudge, he was out for one. Disappointing. Now, they dropped Swamp Junior for this game. And I ask myself this. Swamp Junior has been in good form this year at least, Fame, who everyone was saying perfect at 3, if not 4, but like let's get him at 3 and let's get him at first drop, you know. An important place in any cricketing side. I also think that you need a Swamp of some note, a junior or a junior in the side somewhere.
Wetlands are important to any ecosystem, Edward.
That's exactly right, Tom. You and I have always said that. We're the big supporter of wetlands and marshes.
Yeah.
And then to find out he's been dropped so that Ashton Agar can bowl a few overs, I was like, we're losing a batsman?
If you're picking Marsh at number 3, if we were going in with Marsh being like the number 3 batsman in the World Cup, I would have been of the understanding that he was probably not going to be first on the chopping block from a dropping standpoint. But then maybe you just look at all the other players that they had to choose from in terms of like, well, who would you drop? But also, did they just assume they were going to lose that one and went, fuck it, let's just give Ashton some game time?
But it's if you're picking a bloke at number 3, that sort of implies that you're putting a lot of expectation on their shoulders to score runs. So for that bloke to be dropped was interesting.
Gone.
Exactly. Now they move the Big Show up the order. He basically came in after 12 balls, I think.
I don't understand with Big Show, right? Like, he clearly is good at cricket.
But he anchors an innings, right? As opposed to impose his will on one?
Well, I don't think that Big Show has ever really consistently shown anything that's made me, like, feel comfortable when he comes in that we're a shot. He might do something, but I reckon you could count on one fucking hand the time he's actually done it, where you needed him to do it.
Yeah, so you're saying he's capable of it.
Yes. But
as opposed to doing it.
Yeah.
So then you could maybe ask the question, is he capable if he's never done it?
If he's never done it. But everyone's like, but he could. And you're like, yeah, I know he could, but like when? Because I haven't fucking seen it.
I haven't seen it at all. Now, there's been some calls from Shane Warne
Keithy
to drop Smith. What do you make of that?
Well, what was Keithy's rationale?
I just think he doesn't think he's a T20 player.
Right. I mean, that's...
But he's been scoring... He's probably scored more runs than anyone else.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? Like, he doesn't... He doesn't seem to score fast. He seems to just score like a run of balls.
Yeah, but he can be like a foil to someone like a Marsh. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to fucking lose wickets hand over fist. You just have Smudge out there who scores at a run of ball.
Well, the reason we beat South Africa was because of Smudge, because he dug in and got through to tee.
Yeah, exactly. Dug in and got through to tee. He scores a run of ball, and then you've got like a firecracker, like a Marsh Junior come in here and rip and tear. That's how I would see it working. So to Shane, I'd go, listen, I respect the hell out of you. But we can't go out every match and lose 10 wickets and expect to get a W.
No. Did you see on Shane that there's some new Big Brother show with a chick from Maths on it, and she's apparently like, I don't know if the show's already been on, Dave, you can check, but she apparently was like, she talks about it in Big Brother about like the fucking DMs she'd get from Warnie.
And what were they like?
Well, I don't know.
Did she go into it?
They were using it as promo for the show. They're so weird, these texts from Shane Warne. Surely they couldn't be that bad, because I just imagine that Channel 7 are they going to want to fucking get into a legal stoush with old Keithy boy? Like, could you have like defamatory shit on there?
Well, I don't know if he said it to you.
I guess you got screenshots.
If you got screenshots and shit, I don't think so. But having said that, it couldn't have been that bad. Otherwise, you would have heard about it now.
You would think so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just Shane being Shane.
Shane being Shane.
That's all it is. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just Shane having a crack. Shane being Shane. There was a lot of chat before this game, Tom. This really annoyed me. Particularly from the English writers. And this probably illuminates as to why they were saying it. Saying that, you know, the importance of winning this game can't be understated with the Ashes around the corner, and it's about landing the first blow and shit. I'm like, do you fuckers really think that this T20 World Cup group game has any bearing whatsoever on the outcome of the Test series?
If you're an English beater, which all English people are, certainly around the Ashes, all English people can be classified as English beaters, then yeah, I'm sure you're putting a great deal of importance on a T20 fucking World Cup group game and how, you know, the success or failure of said game directly correlates to Ash's success. Yeah, that's the most beta thing in the world I think I've ever heard.
Like, land a mental blow. What you really think that Smudge, when he goes out to bat at the Gabba, is going to be thinking about, how I only got one run in a T20 game in Dubai 2 months ago? 1 month ago? Yeah. Whatever the time frame is.
Listen, hey, bring that up in your if you're going to try to sledge him on field. That'll work.
Yeah, when Smudge opens with 200, what are you going to say then?
Bring it up. Go.
Yeah, you bring it up.
Do you remember how you fucking got out for one in that T20 game a month or so ago? You probably don't, because you played like 400 games of cricket within inside a month. That's how many fucking games they play. But yeah, that's as beta as it gets. Now,
particularly when the English, I don't know if any of the players in that side play Test cricket.
Probably like one or two. You wouldn't. I don't know. Does Root play?
No, he's not in the T20 side.
He's not?
No.
Good on you, Joe. But also, give me some Aotearoa, baby. Fucking our boys in NZ, we dusted the Indians.
Yeah, we did. The Indians now 0-2. They've lost to Pakistan. They've lost to New Zealand. They're a shot now, a serious shot at not making the semis.
I would love that. I would love that.
To say they're shitting the bed would be the understatement of the year. I think they were all out for 110. Or they only got 110. Dior, is that right?
India, yeah, they only got 110.
Were they all out? Or were they
lost 7 wickets.
They lost 7 wickets for 110.
And New Zealand chased it down in 14 overs.
Yeah, so like the disrespect from New Zealand to India is absolutely delicious. Obviously,
they're almost like New Zealand's their bogey side now. Lose the Test championship, pumped overnight.
Yeah, New
Zealand's in their head, dude.
New Zealand cricket is, you know, our boys are firing.
It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, it is actually. It's pretty ridiculous. Go, son.
It's absurd how high they punch.
Yeah.
Or how well they punch above their weight.
You could say how well we punch. I think that you can.
We could say that.
You could say that.
You and I could say that.
Yeah,
we could say that.
We could definitely say it. Like, we punch above our weight.
Yes.
NZ.
Yeah, 100%.
We do.
And that's worth celebrating.
Yeah, fucking.
Bolt took 3 wickets. Kane Williamson got like 30 odd runs. But
and what were our bets, Eddie? Mine was New Zealand into Bolt 2+ wickets.
Mine was New Zealand into Kane Williamson 20+ runs.
Yeah, so we bet on our people. We bet on our boys.
Yeah, well, when you got it running through your veins, mate.
Yeah.
You go with what you know. Yep. You look internally. You see what's in there.
Mana.
And you bet that way. Mm-hmm. And that's how you deliver winner after winner after winner after winner after winner. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
But to say that I'm reading into punters and dribblers, let me finish here. To say that I'm reading into a loss to England in a T20 World Cup group game, do you think I'm putting any weight on that from an Ashes perspective is sheer madness? And if I hear someone bring it up again, I'll give it to you.
I think you just need to know that if you hear anyone bring it up, that their opinion from the moment that fucking statement exits their lips, their opinion ceases to matter. they've lost all credibility and nothing they say ever makes sense again.
Mute them.
Yeah. If they have that technology.
Look, if you've got like with that controller.
Click. Adam Sandler, great movie. Fucking emotional movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch that bounce.
No. Steer clear.
Steer clear of Click. Don't go, oh, fuck, Adam Sandler, this will be funny.
No. Click will get you.
Nah, you'll find yourself on a floor in a fucking pool of emotional tears. It gets you. Adam Sandler can get you.
Adam can get you.
Adam can get you. Mate, Big Daddy, that'll get you crying. When that kid's getting fucking, but I wipe my own ass. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is...
Oh, Adam will get you.
He'll get you. He can get you good.
Shout out to Adam.
Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Click. Mute dumbasses if you can.
Is that cricket?
Well, it is, Eddie, but I just must say that we thank KO for their support as always. Yeah, so yesterday, for those following along, you would have seen that YKTR, or YKTR Sports, YKTR the clothing brand, YKTR Sports, the sort of more media side, signed the fucking Hectic Cheese as... I guess it's like a brand ambassador. Like he'll do content for him and shit. But it's like it's akin to a deal that he would sign with like a Adidas or a fucking Nike or some shit.
He's a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
/ content creator.
Yes.
Because they're in the content business.
They're in the content biz, so they'll get more out of it. But very interesting, like without knowing the X's and O's of how it all would work and how that shit works more generally. Assuming it all fucking goes well, it's actually quite a interesting first of its kind move from a footy player or a sports person even to like sign with someone outside of the convention. And I think that the deal itself will be different. I think he's getting paid in crypto, which I still need to get my head around. But yeah, it seems like an interesting fucking move. And the cheese is a big dick, dude. Like if you're going to sign someone like...
Mate, when they said they were going to sign someone, I didn't think it was going to be him. I didn't think it was going to be him at all.
No, fuck no. Well, I mean, just because you think maybe like, you know, that you... Because
work
it's
your way up.
a new thing, yeah, you might just be getting someone who's a bit younger who's prepared to have a crack. But like, I guess after he lost all of his... I think he lost a fuckload of endorsements after the microwave dinner saga of the early off-season. And so I wonder whether that made him more eager to explore something like YKTR, where you go, they're a brand that aren't just going to abandon you, like a Barstool wouldn't either. Like, but like, you know, like if you're sponsoring a player or like that, some little scandal, you're not just going to be like, "Oi, sorry, man." Like,
well, not if you're a big brand like, you know, like a Toyota, for argument's sake.
No.
You've got to be squeaky clean.
Well,
you've got to be seen to be.
But that's the thing, though, right? That's the thing. I imagine it would leave a bad taste in your mouth with these brands who just like. I understand why they have to do it and that sort of stuff, but it's like the abandoning you when shit gets tough, only to come back once you've fucking had a. You know, like it's just that sort of a thing. Like Nike stuck with Tiger the whole way through.
Yeah, dude. They did.
They just went, nah, we're
backing you.
We've got you here, brother.
Yeah, but also like...
But also, whoa.
Yeah, but whoa, Tiger. But also, you're filling the coffers still, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're still
like, he's the biggest dick in town, Tiger.
Yeah.
From a marketing perspective, like he is fucking enormous.
Well, they were saying that new like golf like rating point system. I don't know exactly what it is, but you know how they're like... There's like a reading on their like social influence or something like that, and that's how they're dictating some of the money they're getting. Are you across this?
Oh yeah, so with golf, Dior might be able to fill us in, but basically the more eyeballs you bring to the sport, the more you can get paid.
There's some like thing where you'll be able to get your access to like to larger money for whatever. I think it's because there was
seen as you generating bigger revenue for the sport.
Yeah, so but there was like some rebel golf tournament that's looking to start up.
Yes.
And so this was their way of trying to go, well, don't go there where there's going to be biblical money, like stay here. If you're fucking moving the needle, then...
I think it was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. But Tiger, who's been out fucking with broken legs and, you know, he's still the number one in terms of the influence. Like he's actually still the number one and he's not even fucking playing.
Of course he is, mate. There's some crazy stats around Tiger whereby when he came back, like if he plays a tournament, I think they need to double all the like catering and the toilets and the
really?
And the seats and the access and
That's
all that sort of thing.
crazy.
Like golf ball sales, Bridgestone golf ball sales, which he was using, I think, like go up by like 800% and shit like that.
It's crazy to see that.
numbers.
That's actually that like how much that
They
works.
say of Tiger, he doesn't move the needle, he is the needle.
That's why everyone wanted a piece of that needle.
But Hectic Cheese, I think it's good. I'd be interested to see what sort of content and stuff he creates because he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. But that's also it as well, right? There's like the top line player who maybe isn't fucking that much. Like you look at someone like say James Tedesco, where he's not exactly a personality. There's no disrespect there, but like he's just a fucking weapon.
Yeah.
You've got someone like YKTR Sports, where they are a content business. Certainly the sports arm of it is content first. And so when you're going to go with an athlete, it's like it would make sense to go someone with Cheese where like he's actually a funny fucker as well. He certainly moves the needle with the younger generation. What's his social media following?
He moves my needle, Tom.
Fucking oath. The man moves needle. The man moves needle. What's his social following?
I don't know. Are you getting it up?
I'm trying.
On Instagram, he's got 2.7 million followers.
There's no way that Hectic
Who,
Cheese
the cheese?
Oh, fuck. I thought we were just talking about Tiger Woods.
Jesus Christ,
I was
Dave.
like, oh.
Cones Central. 174,000 followers.
Solid.
Fucking oath.
Rock solid.
Rock solid. And clearly, like, I think he's super into crypto and shit. Like, he's clearly, I think, maybe he's more intelligent than probably like your conventional sporting media would give him credit for. It's more just like, hey, the Cheese said some funny shit after a game.
Well, because he's a character.
Yes.
People love that shit.
They love that.
The people love characters, Tom.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
But then they fucking take steamy dumps on characters when they're being characters, like when it suits the...
Which is when that's where I draw the line.
But that's why I think it's good, like that. It's an interesting spot where you go like, here you're going to have potentially, if it grows and it keeps going well, it's like you have opportunities for players to be supported by brands and businesses that aren't just going to fucking bail on you the second you get into some
brands
hot
that
water.
support characters.
Yes. But also who don't mind seeing it through stormy seas.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
As in like,
Open
buckle
ocean.
down the hatches,
Yeah, batten
Tom.
down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches.
We're in some rough waters here.
The hatches are...
I'd assume they're for the windows.
Is that a hatch?
Dave, you're going to have to...
if you're battening something
If
down...
you're battening down the hatch, I'd say or maybe it's to get underneath as well. Like it's just going like, let's seal this bitch up.
Seal this bitch and get what, under the deck?
Well, that's below deck.
Below deck.
I don't want to get below deck though. If I'm supporting my client in Cheese, I'm standing at the fucking steering wheel upstairs through these
At the
stormy
helm.
seas. At the helm, dude. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you're going to have with like, again, fucking YKTR boys aren't like Corey Norman and Chico have had their own sort of skullduggery situations before as well. So they're already well versed in,
Battening down the hatches.
battening down the fucking hatches,
Yeah.
seeing out stormy seas.
What is it, Dave?
Yeah, so a hatch is essentially a door in any aircraft, spacecraft, or submarine.
What about a boat?
So it's not a boat related...
No, it would be boat. Yeah, as well.
Have
It's
you-
the bit of the boat that's underwater.
Have you written batten down the hatches into Google?
I said hatch, dictionary definition, a door in an aircraft,
Yeah.
spacecraft, or submarine, or the rear door of a hatchback car.
Right in batten down the hatches. Because it's a saying.
Yeah.
A popular one.
Yeah.
To secure a ship's tarpaulins to prepare for a difficulty or crisis.
There you go. So it's the
So-
sailing boat reference.
Yes. I mean, I think all boat sayings originated from the sailing boat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think there's any long-term boat references from like outboard motors and shit. You know what I mean? They'd be relatively new age just from a technological standpoint, Edward.
Yeah, so they used to make them watertight, like these sailing ships. They would just chuck a big cover over everything. So to batten down the hatches was to...
Tarp it up.
Yeah.
Tarp up.
Yeah, tarp up. Tarp up is basically the modern version of battening down the hatches.
That's exactly... Well, they must be the same thing.
Yeah,
Tarp it up.
So that's obviously tarping up a sexual reference, but really a sailing reference.
Well, it owes its history to sailing.
To the sailing, yes. It's
Because they would have been tarping up before they would have been battening down before they tarped up.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know the history of the dommy.
It used to be the skin of like a sheep or some shit.
What, the intestine?
Yeah, something like that.
How long have they been wearing dommies for?
I think for as long as blokes haven't wanted to be dads.
We're talking like mid 1800s. The first condoms were kind of invented.
Not that long.
Not that long.
Not
See, I
that
didn't think
long.
it was going to be that long.
I guess how else does the human
Will you
race
pull
just...
out?
Thank you, Eddie. I understand that that's an option.
People have been pulling out since the dawn of time.
I think they have, but when the human race has got to 7 billion relatively quickly, I'd say they haven't been pulling out that much.
No, I think they've left it in more than they've pulled it out.
Yeah. Well,
No, but not
actually,
necessarily.
no, dude.
Actually,
I'd
take that back.
I think that they've probably that we'd be like 100 billion if everyone didn't pull out.
Well, put it this way. If you left it in,
You'd have like 50 kids.
you'd have like 50, You have one a year, 40 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
So I think we've been pulling out.
No, I
I think people have been leaving it in, and that happened. But like back 200 years ago, not every kid made it, and so you would. Just
there's nature
10
as well,
kids.
Dave.
Yeah,
There is
nature.
nature as well.
That's a
There is
good
nature as
point.
well.
Yeah.
Look, without the data in front of me, I can't speak one way or the other as to whether we've left it in more than we've pulled it out.
I'd have to say we've pulled it out more than we've left it in. But I mean, how that pertains to cheese and his signing with YKTR, I'm not 100% sure, but it does link back.
Well, in a roundabout way, we're saying if you need to batten down the hatches, if you need to tarp it up, if you need to pull it out, the option's there.
The option's there, and YKTR, a great brand to partner with for cheese.
Yes, for those reasons.
Also, so it's contested, but they reckon the first person to actually invent and produce the condom was Charles Goodyear of Goodyear Tires, because he knew his way around rubber and had all those machines, so he made a condom.
The Goodyear.
So, but was are they saying first condom was rubber?
Yeah, the first like mass-produced one.
Yeah, right. But when was the first evidence of? Because that was in like animal skin they used to use, from my understanding.
Could be. I will try as soon as the internet comes.
Is that right?
I thought it was like a something skin. Oh fuck yeah. Something skin condom,
But you don't know.
but I don't know.
You might be guessing.
Oh, I mean, I'm certainly not coming from a place of knowledge.
But great signing. Well done to YKTR.
Yeah, dude. Interesting to see how it goes. Is there anything else rugby league related?
There was that story. I don't know if you want to talk about that. They were trying to get it going a couple of years ago, but obviously with COVID they couldn't. Now they're trying again to get Souths versus Manly in America. Did you see that story?
I didn't see that story.
They've been trying to get this Yank game off the ground for a while. Have we played there before?
We played Origin there before. But like, sure. Like what, for next year?
Yeah, 2023.
Okay,
not
so-
next year, 2023, yeah.
Yeah, again, this is, you know what that is? That is rugby league off-season story 101. Oh, we might want to take a game to the US in fucking 14 months' time, potentially.
We're not 100% sure.
We're not 100% sure, and we've tried it
But we think it'd be
multiple
a pretty
times.
cool idea to take a game to the US.
What
Yeah,
else
sure.
are the like key hallmarks of fucking off-season boredom in the rugby league journalism? Like, so we've got North Sydney Bears,
Yep.
the game to the US, hybrid game between Wallabies and Australia,
Oh, that comes up every year.
the Kangaroos.
That's an absolute ripper.
There'll be
it's-
one about like some prodigies from fucking next year that you haven't heard of.
Rank your
before.
top three halfbacks.
Buzzer's top 50 players, and he's just intentionally putting someone like ridiculous in there or leaving someone out to get a few tongues wagging. But there's the
Mate, put it this way. Without the scandal in the off-season, the rugby league journo is clutching at straws.
yeah, they're wigging. I think that this actually might be the start of pre-season for all the bottom 8 clubs.
Yes. Who told us that?
Was it Finchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Finchy. Said that, like, if you're bottom 8, you come back in, like, November. Start of November.
That's tough.
So that's all of November, December, 2 weeks off in December for Christmas.
And January,
February, March.
Well, March you start, so you got 4-month pre-season.
No, the game starts in the first week of April.
No.
Yes.
No. Does it?
I think so.
No, it starts in
Or does it
March.
start
It starts
in
like March
It usually
8th.
starts in March.
Yeah. Starts like the first First or second weekend in March. But 4 months of preseason is slog central. Slog central.
When did the season start this year, Dave?
This year it was March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's March. It's March. It starts in March. Is there any, like, is Luke Brooks meant to be going this year to another, like, is he meant to be fucking
Yeah, 11th of March, you're right.
Yeah.
So 4 months
Yeah.
of tough, hard slog in the hot Australian sun.
What also is interesting about November 1 is now all the players that are in the last year of their contract for 2022 are now all up to be fucking negotiating. So the Hectic Cheese, as an example, maybe Ponga, I'm not sure, but like basically, yeah, if you're off contract essentially, so you can start negotiating. So that's usually shit show city as well.
So interesting to see what Ponga does. Like if that Redcliffe Dolphins, well, the Dolphins, knock on your door.
Dolphins.
Knock on your door and go, listen, mate, I've got $1.2 million here for you with your name on it.
Back to Queensland.
Come back to Queensland. Be coached by the great Wayne Bennett. Also putting together what you would consider to be maybe a star-studded side, especially if they can get some big names.
Well, dude, like imagine if you got the cheese. He's fucking...
Get the cheese in there.
He said that like his manager apparently was like, send us your best offers. Don't fucking try and nickel and dime us. Like, he's on the market. Send us your best offers. We'll see. Isaiah Papali'i as well. We were saying this in the live stream. He's gone to the Eels. Were like, hey, brah, we'll give you $400,000. And he's gone, hey, brah, got fucking back row of the year. And whilst I appreciate everything you've done for me, sounds like the Tigers are looking to splash some cash.
That's what the Eels are relying on. They've gone unders. Maybe they have to because of salary cap constraints. And they go, well, listen, we're a sniff at winning a comp. We know, you and I know better.
Well,
that's the case they're presenting to
They
him.
sell that it's a sniff, but there's no way they're going to win it. But that's what they try and sell to Isaiah. He goes, well...
But if you're Isaiah Papali'i and you for an extra $250,000 to go to the West Tigers...
I think if you're Isaiah Papali'i and you're going, my career's short and I get a couple of $100,000 extra a year, maybe I do go to the Tigers. I don't know. Apparently, and again, this is in Buzz Rothfield's fucking column. He didn't name anyone, but he was like, the reason Joey left the Eels is because of a player who thought he was way better than he was that Joey couldn't get on with. I love that sort of salacious fucking Mayo gossip.
Oh my God, that's so Mayo.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon?
I don't know. Because, like, someone... I mean, you would think that... Because he's obviously working with the backs. If I had to put my money on anyone, he's in the halves. So, Mitchell Moses, Dylan Brown, or Clint Gutherson. And to me, it would be hard... Like, Gutho seems like such a legend. It'd be hard for me to think it was him. Moses... can be a hothead, but
he's played Origin,
so like I don't know. And then you go Dylan Brown hasn't been playing very well, but is like highly touted, highly paid. Again, it's to be fair, it's actually not very fair to speculate on just three players when it could have been anyone, but it also could be horse shit because it was just written in.
The whole thing could be complete bullshit. So
The
you don't
Mayo
know. It's hard
column.
to say. But that's a very interesting comment.
Yeah.
It'll be good to see what Joey can do up there at Newcastle. 2 days a week, like, is that enough? I don't know.
I think Joey is fantastic, right? But you look at Joey, what Joey did with the Eels, in that, like, it wasn't like his presence got him to the comp. Like, they basically finished the exact same place every year. Who the fuck are the halves at the Knights? Is it just Ponga is your only really good half? Clifford's all right.
He's coming along. I didn't mind what I saw out of Jake.
No, but like, are we trying to say that? Are we trying to say that what the Knights are going to fucking win now? It's a false dawn, I think, is the term for Newcastle, who think it's going to actually do something. It's better than not having him there. Don't get me wrong. It's not anti-Joey. It's more like you can have, as we've said in the past, one of the great farmers all time, but if your cows are shit. Farming's going to be tough.
I mean, the farmer can take the cows to a point, but they're not going to be prize bulls.
No, you're not winning Easter show.
You're not winning the Easter show.
Yeah.
You are not winning the Easter show. And the counter to that as well is even if you're a prize bull with a shit farmer, you're going to deteriorate pretty quickly.
Yeah, you're not going to be a prize bull for long.
No. You're not going to be putting your best foot forward. Again, you might win one year, but it's very, 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 very unlikely.
Yeah.
You need things to go your way. You've got to find your way to the market in the first place.
Exactly.
You've got to find your way to the Easter show in the first place. And you're a cow. You don't know where the fuck you are.
You don't know where the fuck the Easter show is.
Put it this way, punters and dribblers. Name me a bull of substance, of worth, that has found its way over the cattle ramp, up the road.
Cattle ramp, firstly, like unless they have pinpoint standing on those like thin
Dexterity.
grades, pinpoint dexterity, which cows don't, unless you're a prize bull. You got to get over that before then navigating your way to the show.
And if you're going to the Easter show, maybe you're out in Cowra or something. You got to walk all the way to Sydney.
Cows aren't quick. What state are you in by the time you get to the show?
You're probably looking pretty beaten up. Pretty cut up.
Sweaty, malnourished, hungry.
Exactly. So do you get our point, punters and dribblers? You need the cattle and you need the farmer.
You need it to align.
Now, when I won an eye over Newcastle, I go, Newcastle's all right. Not a bad side. Got a few boys up front. But if Mitch Pearce leaves to get that European crumpet, which we're hearing he will.
Well, I think he's already requested the release officially.
Yeah, I think they've said that they want a transfer fee. They want to get a bit of money out of the deep pockets of the Cattle and Dragons. But assume that goes ahead. Then you've got Clifford and you've got Ponga, who they're now saying might go to 6, and then they'll buy a fullback.
But that's what Michael was saying to us of about even fame. And
I'm just saying that because he keeps his finger on the Newcastle pulse.
yeah, look, to a degree. He also said that fucking O'Brien was gone at the end of the year and Shane Flanagan was taken over. So you do take everything that he says with a grain of salt because his family are like preeminent Newcastle Knights dribblers.
Yes.
I think I've said preeminent twice now on the show today. Don't know if I'm using it correctly, but I did notice that I've said it again. And I was like, preeminent. Dave, you can look it up and tell me if I'm correct or if I'm just on a preeminent roll.
Surpassing all others in a distinguished way.
There you go.
Sorry for using it correctly, sort of. So yeah, I don't think Michael is to be trusted with his Knights mail. Or at least,
his mail generally is pretty off.
Yeah.
His Ashes mail.
His Ashes mail fucked us. Well, we had high level discussions to make that thing go ahead. In fairness,
But the mail, not great.
the mail still stunk. Not that it was his mail about the Ashes.
It was mail he got from someone else who gave it to us.
But maybe he didn't. Maybe it wasn't Michael at all. So apparently Luke Brooks would prefer to go to the Dogs than to the Knights. I read that somewhere where like that's his preferred side.
What, to work with Trent? Wouldn't you want to work with Joey?
Also, like the Dogs.
Maybe he wants to stay in Sydney.
Yeah, maybe. I'd be wanting to get the fuck down to the Hunter. Get yourself a nice place. Maybe on some acreage.
Perfect.
Out of town.
Work with Joey.
Work with Joey, which fucking couldn't hurt.
What, you reckon that'd hurt? Mate, if I'm Luke Brooks and there's an offer with reasonably big money to go to Newcastle, to go up to the Hunter, to be embraced by the Novocastrians potentially, get a bit of land, get a bit of acreage, maybe have a couple of prize steers of your own.
Play with Kalen Ponga.
And be coached by the greatest football mind the world's ever seen.
Like with the greatest respect to Luke Brooks and to everyone who's played at the Tigers over his tenure, he hasn't, like he played with Tedesco and Moses and all those guys when they were like still pups, still coming through, not fully actualised rugby league individuals like your Tedesco of today, say.
Yes.
So he's never really played with anyone fucking in red hot form. Think about
Not
that.
like world-class form.
That's what I mean, yeah. Like he's never played with anyone where you're going, oh, I know if I give it to this guy, they're going to do something fucking psycho.
All they're going to do is get him the ball.
Yeah. So, you go to the Knights, you've got that in Ponga. You go to the Dogs, you don't actually have that in anyone. But you've got some good players there. You've got Addo Cars and
Matt Burton's
and
there's a bit there. There's certainly not as much, but there's a bit there. Interesting to see what happens. Very interesting to see. What we do know is Manly will win the Comp 2022, so it doesn't really matter.
UFC, Eddie. UFC.
UFC, baby.
I got home on Saturday.
Yeah, it was funny. You was look when we said goodbye. You're like, bro, I'm gonna go home and watch UFC.
Yeah.
I'm like
At 3 a.m.
I was like, I don't think you will. I think you'll get home and buy it and fall asleep. That was my thought.
That's what happened.
3 o'clock said it's a tough time.
Yeah, I got home at 1, I think. 12:31. I had to sleep on the couch because we have newborn baby Zoe in the bed with mama, and we don't need a big drunk fucking stinky oaf in dad in the bed. So I just went and slept on the couch. Wasn't overly disappointed in that because I popped the cricket on, but I also got home and thought,
Do you have a couple of settlers when you got home?
I didn't.
A couple of nightcaps?
No, I had a vegan cookie to help, get dad back to neutral before bed. Put the cricket on, ordered the UFC, which hadn't even started yet. So I had to, the goal was to try and stay up until 3, start watching it. Thank God that the abuse that I'd done to myself that day had it took over and just knocked me out. And I was asleep probably within 5 minutes of paying for the pay-per-view. But I did watch it the next day, and Khamzat Chimaev is a terrifying individual. I'll say that first. If you don't know him, just start paying attention. In his first 4 fights in the UFC, he's been hit, I think, once or twice. All first-round finishes. In this one, he was fighting Li Jinglang, I think his name is. Submitted him first round, but at one point picks him up, gets his back, picks him up, and walks over to the side of the cage where Dana White is and starts talking to him while he's holding him in one arm, and then slams him on the ground and then chokes him out in fucking 2 minutes.
Jesus Christ, he's the real deal.
He seems to be. Again, he hasn't fought maybe even top 10, but he's fought everyone. The manner in which he's been beating people, you're like, okay, well, he's clearly fucking good, but it will be interesting to see how he goes against some of the mama jammers, which you would assume are going to be next up. And the good thing as well is that he just has taken no damage, so it's he's good to fight again.
He's good to go.
Good to go.
Yeah, good to go. Short turnarounds.
Called out Nate Diaz.
Did he?
Yeah, I imagine he'd beat.
Nate's got one more fight on his contract.
Yes.
Who is that going to be?
Well, Nate was like, dude, I'm not fighting anyone outside of the top 5. So don't try to call me out to help your cause. I'm fucking Nate Diaz. So I'm only fighting big boys, which I get. And for him, fighting Khamzat's probably not what you want to be doing.
Well, do you think that Nate will sign another contract, or do you reckon he's done? Is he going to fight Conor again?
I think that he probably will. I think I heard this on Ariel Helwani where he was saying most fighters, when they get to this point, they will sign another contract before letting their last one elapse just for safety's sake.
Yes.
But with Nate, you're guaranteed to have interest. So it's maybe you just fight this out and then wait to re-sign. But I don't think Nate's about to retire, even though, if you listen to him, you could think that maybe he should.
Well,
he takes a lot of damage.
Would it be the worst decision of all time? Maybe for the health of his body moving forward.
Yeah,
potentially not. He's taken so much damage over the years.
Yeah, and even that Leon Edwards fight, his last fight, where he just got fucking pieced up for 5 rounds, split, cut, just can't get dropped, and then rocks Leon Edwards with 5 seconds to go, almost wins a fight. You're like, good lord, but.
Surely him and Conor fight again.
You'd hope so. But yeah, Conor's now about to, he's putting up videos of him training again, being this is going to be the greatest comeback of all time. I'm like, okay.
I don't believe it anymore. Sorry, Conor.
No, definitely don't believe it. Look, I'll happily watch it if it happens, but I don't.
Of course I'll watch it, Tom, but I don't believe a word you're saying.
No.
I just can't.
No. You hope he doesn't go too long and start getting punchy. But light heavyweight title, Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira, and Glover fucking pumped him.
How did the fight go?
He choked him out second round, but he was all over him in the first round, fucking him up on the ground, and then came back out second round, got him down relatively quickly, choked him out. In terms of a title fight, you're this wasn't a good fight. Glover just beat him. It wasn't anything wildly memorable. Jan did fuck all He did, like, you know, it just wasn't competitive at all. And, like, just crazy because Glover Teixeira, 42 years old, first title, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Certainly in the UFC.
Crazy stuff. You know, that was Bruce Buffer. It's the first time he'd missed a card since 1997.
Yeah, since UFC 11. That was like 267, I think. That's crazy.
That is unbelievable.
That's a great run. It's a great run. And you know what? He was noticeably absent. The guy who filled in for him, he seemed like I've heard him on boxing events as well. Like, I don't know if he's a bit of a voice for hire, but he just was not good. Trying to bring his own flavour to the way he announced.
What was his
the winners.
flavour? What was his flavour?
He was just very American and like, hey, how you going? Here we go. And like, you've become used to the way Bruce would announce names. So the way that this guy would call out winners or was just, it all felt wrong. I feel like if you're going to, when Bruce eventually hangs up the tonsils,
Yes.
I feel like you need to have someone training to just be like Bruce too.
I don't know if they need to be Bruce too.
I just
but
need
they've
him to
got
announce it in the same, like, I mean, is cadence the right word? I don't know, but like the same, I need the same rhythm to the way you're announcing
I think
shit.
cadence, tonsil cadence.
Yeah, tonsil cadence. I need that similar tonsil cadence.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. And it's the same with Rabs and his, you know, imminent retirement.
Yes.
I use the word imminent because he's old as fuck. I don't want to use it.
No, but
But I
it is what it
must.
is, yeah.
And I just say to myself, it's not even about tonsil cadence when it comes to someone replacing Rabs. It's more the tonsils and the voice box rolled into one. He's got a voice box that can't be replicated.
Can you do a voice box transplant, Dave?
Well, okay, now we're talking. Could you take out Rabs's? Would he donate his vocal cords and his voice box for the good of the game?
But, well, probably not while he's alive.
No, of course not.
Posthumous donation.
Posthumous donation. I would never rob the great man of his voice box in his later life.
I would hope not. That's why I just wanted to check. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, that seems like that doesn't seem fair.
No,
here
he's
we
done
go.
too much for the game.
This is interesting. This might be interesting to you, Tom. So, laryngeal transplantation. So, basically, the larynx, which is the voice box and all that stuff down there, it says will allow people to smell, taste, swallow, and communicate in a voice uniquely one's own, so different to their one before.
Wait, what the fuck's a larynx got to do with smell?
Well, okay, maybe it might not fix your smell because maybe that's higher up in the nose. But I guess I don't know. Something
It'll
your
change.
olfactory, like it's all connected down there. So like, I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting, but I just have no idea how something in me throat.
Or maybe it's taste budsy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And neither do you.
No, and neither does Dave. We don't know.
But you're saying that
They can change it.
if you change your vocal cords and your larynx, that you have a different sense of taste?
No, not a different sense of taste. I think it's more like if you couldn't taste before, then you can taste again now. Like if you need a voice box transplant.
How many voice box transplants are they doing a year?
It says in America, it helps about 60,000 people per year.
60,000?
Actually, sorry, I don't know if that's per year. It says larynx transplant could benefit about 60,000 people in the US alone.
Could, but they don't do them.
Well, because healthcare is expensive there.
Okay, but they do them. They just
Yeah.
don't do them regularly.
Well, 60,000 could be pretty regular.
No, but that reads to me as though 60,000 people could do with a
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
might
okay, here
need
we
it.
go. So there's an article from 2011, which is about like one of the first successful larynx transplants.
Okay,
Oh,
so
so
it
they're
has
doing
been
them.
done.
So yeah.
I would love to know if they sound the same or do they just sound like this and it's like better than having no voice at all. So it's like, and when you see like a face transplant and you go, I mean, I get it, you didn't have a face before, but like
not really the same thing.
it's not exactly like for like, is it?
No, it's not. It's certainly not like for like.
Like,
Well,
I
not
can-
yet.
No, not yet. And that's the only way you get to it being like for like. Like imagine, remember the movie Face Off? Imagine if that was how they fucking, because they just look like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in Face Off. If it were true to fucking technology of today, that movie wouldn't have worked. Because face transplants do not work.
So interestingly though, the larynx transplant might not change what your voice sounds like. So the voice comes from basically three different parts. the lungs, the larynx, and the vocal folds. So just getting the larynx replaced might still mean your voice doesn't change that much. Because you think about it, like people who are like kind of bigger and taller have deeper voices because it's more reverberating around them, and people who are smaller tend to have higher voices because there's less space for the sound to move around.
You still got a pretty deep voice for a man of your size, Dave. Don't you reckon?
I don't think so. I don't know. I always think my voice sounds a lot higher when I hear it. I don't know.
No, I reckon you've got a deeper voice than a higher voice.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think you sound like a squeaky voiced individual. By
But
any means.
he doesn't. But to his point, he doesn't bellow.
No, he doesn't bellow. He doesn't bellow.
Where the big boys bellow.
Oh yeah, some of the big boys, they can bellow with the best of them.
Is that UFC?
Well, almost. Can you just go to the card that's this weekend? Because it's
268.
268, Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. But this card...
2.
Yeah, 2. This card is probably the best of the year. I don't even know if that's debatable. I think it's 100% the best of the year. It's fucking amazing. Have you got it up?
Yeah, I'm just getting up here.
Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, fucking ridiculous. Rose Namajunas and Zhang Wei Li rematch, title fight. Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, that's fucking insane. Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera, keep going. Marlon Vera's the guy that beat Sean O'Malley.
Get the full card up.
Yeah, get it up. I'll see if there's some other motherfuckers there. But those top 3 is just ridiculous. No, where are we? Main card, Gaethje, yeah, go down. Then Alex Pereira's he's an interesting fight. He's always doing backflips and shit. Quinta, Bobby Green, Shabazian. That's pretty much it. I think but that
Have they fucked us on the time this, or is it in America?
No, this is in the US. This one will be Vegas for sure. So we'll be good. We'll be good.
Yep. 6 p.m. Main card 10 p.m. That's obviously
US time. So we're good. That's a perfect time. And you know what I've got? I've got Mummy Birmingham in terms of Steffi, not my own mother, going on a picnic with the babies on Sunday.
With the babies.
You know what Daddy does? Loosens the belt, fucking sits back on the couch, orders the pay-per-view and just rips in.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
I'll watch it probably better. I'll watch it at home.
Oh, so you'll be bounced. You're coming back.
Like I'll come back bounce and I'll put it on.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
Crawl into the house.
Crawl into the house, crawl downstairs, get the Telstra TV fired up.
Yeah.
Get KO fired up.
The Telstra TV?
Well, like Telstra TV is like Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a way better controller. It's far more user friendly. Those Apple TV controllers are dog shit.
What is that? They're just like, so they're not like, you don't give you a lot of options. It's just like the circle thing on it as well, isn't it? Or are you saying just like they don't work?
No, they don't. They're fucking hard to use. I'm like, this is like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to be like nimble and, discreet.
Yeah.
Not both correct words, but it's just hard to use. I need more buttons.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, give me a fucking proper controller.
Give me some buttons.
But anyway, Telstra TV's got the UFC app, so it's bang, plug it in.
Hectic. But
Before we are finished with fight sports, Tom.
yes,
Josh Aloia, Paul Gallen, it's happening.
it's fucking happening. All right, Josh
8
Aloia,
2-minute rounds, I think.
8 2-minute rounds. Josh Aloia of Manly Seagulls fame and friend of the show fame. They were talking some good shit on. They did like an Instagram live with George Rose and that fucking main event announcer. They went after each other, but Josh, because like Gal's good at talking shit. Josh went with him. Josh was fucking shutting him down. He had good comebacks. It was.
Well, he's a seagull. And he knows how to sell
He's a fucking
fights.
seagull.
Seagulls know how to sell fights, Tom.
Can you check where the fight is? Because we need to make sure we're at it.
And when is it?
It'll be this year.
I just remembered something, Tom.
What?
Because I don't know if there is a confirmed date. Wasn't this going to be part of the whole big rugby league card that they were going to do?
Yeah, maybe.
We need to find out with Denon what's happening there. And if it is happening,
We need to go.
we need to be going. And we need to be ringside. We need to be in furs. We all know the story.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. It says December 10th.
Yep.
Just trying to see where.
Sydney, surely.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like there's a confirmed venue, but it does say December 10.
Leave it with us, punters and dribblers. But I'm pumped.
Yeah, pumped.
I'm pumped up. Paul Gallen, man, like he's made a tidy post career.
Dude, I reckon he would have
rugby
made
league
more
career for
money.
him.
He would have made more money in like one fight than he would have made. Like, I reckon that fucking Justice Hooney fight, there was one where he got like 1.5 mil. He wouldn't have been getting that. He wouldn't have made that over the last like 4 seasons of his fucking career.
No way. He's sitting back fucking counting the cheddar.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And he's unapologetic, just going, mate, fuck it. I'm just here for some bicky here, baby. That's all we want. But we are Team Aloia, so get him, bruh. Get him, bruh.
Get him, bruh. Should we dribble?
I think it's probably time. Thick Ropes County got a fucking big first up win on the weekend.
Oh, they won.
I didn't play, but shout out to Willie Burns of my baby brother fame and Jack Chapman, both hitting big scores, retiring. And then Chapo taking 3 famous wickets as well. You're like, what are you looking for, bro? I'm trying to... what are you looking for?
The Sunnies.
On your head. Chuck me some vape, please, brother. Clip that up. Note that one down. So shout out to Thick Ropes, top of the ladder. Only after one.
So what did
round.
Willie B? He got?
Willie B got 50 odd, and then Chapo got 60 odd, and 3 wickets as well for a man of the match
Hectic.
performance. Yeah, pumped them,
So the boys are firing.
firing early.
Good to
Firing early.
see.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Love that energy. Love it.
And you boys are playing when this week?
Thursday.
Thursday. Get down to what park?
Centennial Park. It's a pretty big park though, but we'll be there somewhere.
You'll find them.
Might also be Queen's Park. I don't know. One of the two.
Go trawling parks on Thursday and try and find them. Should we dribble?
Yeah.
Good evening, boys. Northwest Queensland dribbler, just capping off a 16-hour drive from beautiful Cairns to not so beautiful Mount Isa. But I've been fueled by the back catalogue of the Hello Sport podcast, consumed probably more than any man should consume. In fact, I think it's about to induce a dribble-related coma. But before that coma besets me and I drift off into a slumber, I have a few questions. Now, I do apologise in advance if these questions are answered in other podcasts I didn't get through. There was no chronological order. I just ripped into what I could find. So, first one, Bone Man. Is he still around? Reach out, Bone Man. If so, are you still self-relating to the podcast and Jack Miller podiums? Secondly, did Big Tasty and the Sleep Dribbler settle their beef with KD? Once again, apologise, that was in a previous podcast, missed it. And third, did Sun Yang ever fix his teeth? Probably could research someone myself, but you guys seem to be all over it, so I'll let you guys fill us in. Many thanks. Dribble and juice comas soon. Cheers, bye.
I don't think Sung Yang, old Morgmouth, fixed his teeth.
No, I think he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, mate. The man's cheating at everything else as if he's not cheating in the mouth department. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, so he caught wind and he fixed it.
fixed it. He did have a mouth like a smashed up old graveyard. Did get those fixed off the back of us pointing it out in a friendly manner. We weren't having a go at him, except that he was a cheater. So in actual fact, now thinking about it, we definitely were having a go at him. Bone Man, I'd forgotten about him, but reach out, Bone Man.
And then in terms of the dribbler wars, I don't know where we got to.
Who won that? I thought Big Tasty won it, and the Tasty Boys.
I don't know. I can't remember. Possibly.
But then Sleep Dribbler was the preeminent dribbler of his time.
He's since left. Or like he might listen, but he doesn't dribble anymore. He hasn't done one for about, 3 months?
He's like the BTK killer. It's like he disappears for 25 years once he sort of maybe thought people were on his trail. He wanted to get caught but didn't really. And then it's like, DNA testing or something will happen and we'll find out who he is. He'll come back again. But yeah, look, the early days of the Dribbler hotline were the Wild West.
You didn't know what you were going to get. We didn't listen. We get too many now, so we're going to cull them. But back in the day, you press play and whatever came on. And there was some really dribbly shit back then.
Yeah.
The dribbles have been good lately.
They have been good.
But it was a different time.
It was a different time.
It was a different era. And it is what it is. I hope we've answered your questions. I don't know if we have.
But good on you for fucking listening to... You can't listen to too much either. You said you might have listened to too much dribble-based coma. Nah, too much, never enough.
Never enough. You can't. Can't be done.
I feel sick. Just by the way, just want everyone to know, I'm feeling unwell.
Did you just go the big vom?
I didn't go a vom, no. I'm not at vom stages, but I don't feel good.
Okay. There you go, punters and dribblers. Tom?
Let's move on.
Can you turn up a little bit, Dave? I don't know if it's these headphones or
John,
what.
Eddie, Dave, and Dribbles. It's the brisket smoking dribbler here. I just got a little unpopular opinion. Dave does the big lift, right? He sits there, gets absolutely smoked in dribbles. He comes to work each day with absolute flair. He knows when to chime in when it's needed. He knows when to not say a word. I personally have had a crack at old Dave, but he's building on me, man. So just keep doing you. Also, just going to address the elephant in the room. Probably the one of the biggest topics in group chats. Eddie is fucking hot, bruh. You are a sort, and you're like a fine wine, brother. You're just going to get finer with age. All right, beers soon. Eddie forever.
How about that?
That's a gentleman. That's
a really nice guy.
That's a really nice guy right there who maybe recognises that Edward needs a little bit of help on a Monday, and he calls in with some niceties.
Some really
like that.
nice stuff. Now, initially,
I appreciate that.
I thought, fuck, have we just given D or Dave key to the dribbles and he's just putting in pro D or Dave fucking comments, you know? And I'm thinking, okay, what the fuck's this? But then it's backed up by some really, really nice stuff. Now, I'd be lying, Eddie, if I didn't say, though, I now feel left out by that comment. Like, even if it was just like, you don't have to say that I'm even on par, but just be like, Tom, you're all right. Keep doing you.
Yeah.
You know, but he just sort of left me out. I know it's, you know, be happy for your friends and all that, and I am happy for you because he's speaking the truth. You're as handsome as it gets. But I now sit here like a shag on a sheep's ass. And, you know.
Well, mate, I think you're a good-looking rooster.
Thank you so much.
And I think you're looking trim. I think you're looking
That's
great.
not what I need because that's now.
I think you've looked the best you have in years. And I think you just keep doing you, buddy.
That's really nice, dude. Unprompted. I really love it.
You know?
Yep.
You're still around, bruh.
That guy's a good dribbler. That was class from him.
nice.
That was class.
That was really class.
Yeah, that was first class stuff. That was turning left on the plane sort of stuff.
A lot of people think they're going to get played on this by abusing me and yelling here, but I tell you what, if you're giving out compliments, I'm going to play you, and then maybe chuck one in there for Tom and Eddie, so it doesn't just look like I've put it there.
Just playing D or Dave compliments.
Lovely stuff.
Tom, Eddie, D.O. Dave, punters, and the dribblers. This is the marriage dribbler after getting married in the middle of lockdown fame. I have got a quick dribble for you. I recently started playing touch footy again and grew up playing touch footy with the bright orange touch footy stated. But going back, started playing with the Gilbert, but I couldn't catch a thing. My question for you today, boys, is the Gilbert slipperier than the Staten? Jarrett?
Great question. That's a great fucking question. And I'll tell you what. I think, firstly, we've got our own Hello Sports Steeden down the front. Shout out to Steeden, friends of the show. We really should pump that fucking thing up. I keep forgetting to bring a pump. I think the Gilbert and the Steeden Fresh both have grip. I think the Gilbert loses grip far quicker than the Steeden.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're more often than not, if you're throwing around a footy, most of which are never new, the Gilbert is more likely to be bald as a fucking...
Badger.
Yeah, bald as a badger than the Steeden.
Yeah.
Like, no dimples left. This thing is fucking bald.
Yeah, the Gilbert's nipples wear off after fucking like one game of footy or like one good solid session.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the nipples go quick.
The nipples go quick, whereas a Steeden's nipples are fucking true, hard, erect, and got more longevity in them.
The Steeden's nipples will hang around.
Yep.
They're prepared to see a couple of winners.
Yep.
Yep.
I think as well the Steeden is thinner. It's not as like wide at the edges, which to me makes it easier to get your hands around.
It's more of a it's the Gilbert a rounder shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
G'day, boys. Yes, so I'm just ringing up regarding the shower stomping rhetoric from the last podcast.
Right.
Sort of brought back a few memories from my own boarding days. There was a couple of rare specimens that used to do a very similar thing. I'm not sure if this will have to do all this, Dave, whether or not this is the actual official terminology, but we used to refer to it as what affectionately as the waffle stomp.
Yep.
Now, again, you have to do all that and whether or not that is the correct terminology. But if so, I'd appreciate it if Tom, any future references to these stories, you could use the correct terminology, please. Love your work, boys. Bye.
Look, he's certainly not wrong with the waffle stomp.
Yeah, there was another dribbler who called up with more waffle stomp rhetoric, just talking about the name.
And did we decide? Did you?
I thought one waffle stomp dribble was enough.
And that's why
But shout out to
you've been
dribbler.
given the job. Yeah. That's why you've been given the job, Dave. I will agree with that gentleman that waffle stomp is certainly the term I think more commonly used. Dave, I had another question before this dribble started, but when we were just back on the fact that a lot of them just call up and lick you to death, do you sometimes feel a little bit drained after listening to all these things when there's just these guys saying, fuck you, D or Dave?
I feel kind of drained, but it's not like a personal drain. It's not like, oh, they're having a go at me. It's more just like I have to listen to 2 hours of non-stop dribble. that kind of being drained.
Yeah, that's a big lift. That's a big fucking lift.
And often not often, always it's on a Sunday night, of which I'm quite bounced out.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah, that's tough.
That's good fun, though.
It is. And it's always nice hearing what new insults can come up. People can come up with.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Shout out to the waffle stomp.
Yeah. Buck's going on a fucking drive here.
Oh, they're going to drive, Tom.
Tom, Eddie, Gil, long-time listener, first-time dribbler. It was recently illuminated to me that your father is the legend. And I've got someone here with me who'd like to say a few words. Australia on the attack now, 20 metres on the England side of halfway. Back it comes for Walters. Out it goes now for Langer. Langer the cut-out pass to Daly. Daly comes back in field, gets round a couple of would-be tacklers, gives a one-handed pass over the top to Thurman. One of the England players has fair dinkum produced what looks to be a crowbar or an iron bar of some description, and he's dead set smashed it right across Thurman's head.
That's so fucking funny.
That's pretty good.
That's a good rab.
That's a good one.
That's a very good rabs.
But it's like, it's almost word for word.
Well, yeah, he was certainly. That was from one of the albums. I don't remember exactly. I've obviously listened to them all. The old boy, I think he'd like that.
I think it might have been a Wide World of Sports one.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think
maybe even the first one.
I don't know. You might know. I used to listen to those albums when I was like going to sleep as a kid. And not in a sense of like, let's listen to something that would put you to sleep, but it was just more, it was like, they were certainly not something that someone of my age at the time should have been listening to, but it was, I used to fucking listen to them all the time. He'd like that one, dude. That was a fucking good rabs. I think the old boy would be proud of you.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was very good. Well done, mate.
Very well done.
Yeah, hey lads. Real quick yarn. I was just listening to the story of Tom talking about taking Evie down the slide and his nuts getting caught in his arsehole. And it reminded me of a time when I was in Budapest about 2 years ago at a hostel called Grandiose Party Hostel. And one of the events that they organised with all the people staying at the hostel was it was called Get Up on Stage, Get Laid. So essentially a bunch of people would get up, either dance, sing, random things like that. And about halfway through the night, this bloke who looked as if he hadn't showered in about 6 months, and I'm pretty sure actually lived at the hostel, long hair, real skinny, completely malnutritioned. He got up and said into the microphone, I'm going to put my nuts into my asshole, and I fuck you not. He dropped his dacks, turned around, and proceeded to put both nuts straight up there. And yeah, literally one of the most obscene things I've ever seen. Almost certain he didn't get laid, but yeah, good yarn. Anyway, see you soon.
Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? If you do that, there must be a level of shame attached to like.
Have to be. But you must revel in shame.
Well, no, I wonder though, like whether this man who can do it, it's like it's all well and good to have a crazy skill, but like at what cost? To your own like.
What part of you're giving up a part of yourself?
A part of yourself every time you pop your testicles into your butthole, if that is true. It's
That's
either
absurd.
it seems hard. He must have had a sack on him.
That's absurd. That is absurd.
That's crazy. I don't.
You're feeling unwell. How does that sit with you?
I'm not going to lie. It didn't make me feel any better. It made me feel like thinking of a guy doing that. He also went into unnecessary lengths to describe the state of the man being a disgusting fucking stinky mess, which again just sort of added to it all. But I guess that's the sort
it paints a picture,
that's
doesn't
the
it?
sort of guy who's going to stick his testicles in his own asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to be Lothario, generally speaking.
No, sports podcast.
On we go.
This is what it is, Eddie.
It's what it is now, mate. It's what it is now.
Yeah, hey, Tom, Eddie, D or Dave. Hey, look, boys, I'm just down at the local park, kicking the ball around by myself, all alone. That's probably another story. But I was just sitting down there watching, and there's just this young family, this dad, bald as it can be, and his two sons. And you can see he's lined his two sons up, and they've just, telling, oh, come on, boys, let's have a race. And they've lined up, and they're going, on your marks, get set, go. And Dad's absolutely fucking flogged them off the line. Like, Dad's beaten them by, absolutely flogged them. These two boys, they're still trying, but, Dad ran it home by multiple lengths, which makes me think, did Dad absolutely school you boys back in the day at whatever sport it was, whether it be sprinting, cricket in the backyard, just hitting you for sixes left, right, and centre? Or do you have one of those more modern dads who just let you win and you probably cry all the time? Want to know, boys, and beer soon, I guess.
I have got a distinct memory of when I used to think I was pretty fucking quick. Back in year 3, year 4.
Yeah.
State for the 100 sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I took on the old man once. We went we were training. It might have been after training. We went down there to do some training. Or
Would he train you?
No, he didn't train me. And we had a 100-meter sprint and he beat me. And I remember being fucking pretty rattled. I think maybe even trying to convince myself that I'd actually won.
Oh.
Trying to convince him as well.
Right, but he's no, dude.
You got bested.
You got absolutely pumped. I don't remember ever taking Dad on and shit like that. He was sort of, we'd always play in the backyard. So it'd be passing comps, kicking comps, not necessarily sprint-based shit where it'd be he was teaching us how to pass a footy. He'd teach us how to kick a footy. We'd set up the bucket on the fucking, what we used to do is we'd flip the trampoline on its side and we would then get ocky straps and hook them into a bucket and then hook them onto the trampoline and then you'd do passing competitions into the bucket and shit like that. Now, could you argue that that's why I'm not elite? Because I didn't have someone just beating me all the time. So I didn't have a need to, get better? Potentially. It didn't let me win, but I just didn't get like that dad who's just pounding his fucking poor kids in sprint races.
You want to beat
park.
me? You want to beat me? Get better.
Yeah.
Get better.
Those guys will probably be athletes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because Dad's setting the standard.
Dad's going, there's no fucking free dinners here.
No. There's no free dinners in life.
No, exactly.
And that's what the old man's trying to instill into his two young pups.
Yeah.
Be better. Be great. And to be great, you got to be better.
You got to beat Dad.
You got to beat. Well, you got to look. If you want to beat anyone,
I'm the first biggest hurdle you're going to come up against.
if you can't go past me, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be more dads along the way.
There's going to be plenty more dads.
Yeah. I think that's terrific from the old boy there.
Yeah, I think that's smart. It's smart footy.
Hey boys, just quickly, it's the lonely dribbler here. Just getting through about even, and I heard you both, Tom and Eddie. Sorry, I'm rolling a dart. I heard both you, Tom and Eddie, say that you love Idris Elba. Did you guys know that Idris Elba has now joined up with a Australian band and is releasing an album? They have released a single called Apple Crumble, and Idris Elba is starting a rap career, which is super interesting. So I don't know, maybe you guys want to look into that. I was fucking pretty blown away. Anyway, have a good one. Peace.
Have they released any songs yet, Dave?
Yeah, they've released one song.
Is it any good?
I haven't heard it. I'm not a huge Lime Cordial fan.
I had no idea.
I'd seen it somewhere.
Yeah, like he joined them on stage live at one of their gigs a few months ago, which was like huge, and then they announced this.
Look, I've got no issue with Idris Elba deciding to fucking pursue some music. You might say, well, you fucking had a crack at The Rock. And I'll be like, well, yeah, I know. Double standards.
I don't think Idris Elba is using his music career to sell his tequila.
I don't think he would be either. I think
you're just passionate about music, wants to express himself through song.
Yeah. He's also had professional MMA fight like fucking a couple of years ago, so he just tries things.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Daddy's crashing.
Hey boys, first time caller. The hot yoga dribbler checking in here. Just wanted your opinion. I'm sitting at the club right now looking out at the street, and there's fucking too many cunts wearing a fucking Halloween costume. And I'm like, how many Australians are actually out there that do Halloween? I get you got parties and that. I mean, play on, but is Halloween the biggest dribbler holiday of the year? I mean, because it's the fucking Yanks thing. I don't know about us, but anyway. On a good note, appreciate you boys. You make my day great every time I hear you. I really appreciate you guys. Beers soon. Broncos premiership soon. Manly 13 plus never. Cheers.
Look, I mean, he did finish with a nice comment, but he did sort of then start to talk negatively about Manly and pro Broncos, but I did appreciate the niceties at the end.
I've got to admit that I always was under the impression that Halloween was a Yank holiday. It wasn't until I came to Sydney that I realised Australians celebrate it.
Well, I don't think we always did, but it was certainly...
It's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah, and I also have no issue with it. Like, who gives a fuck? It's more like for kids anyway, right? And now that I am, some of you may not know this, a father of two, never mention it. Michael Pride always fucking sick of me now. He's like, oh, you a dad, are you? But I can see the benefit of like, this would be something fun.
Is it a holiday in America? Or is it just like something they do?
Nah, it's not a like public holiday.
I certainly don't care. Like, it doesn't get me up and about. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I didn't know when the fuck it was. I just saw cobwebs on everyone's fucking front of their houses.
I've never trick-or-treated. I
trick-or-treated growing up in Barrel.
I don't think I've even dressed up.
But you've been to like Halloween parties and shit, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. I surely would have.
You would have. That's as much as I've gotten into it, but I did trick or treat when I was young in Barrel. Like, it was a thing in Barrel when I was a kid, so it's not like it's. But now it's like fucking pumping. But it's like whatever the reason was to do it, like whatever the genesis was from American culture, like that's well and truly been lost here. We don't give a fuck. It's just an excuse to have a bit of a giggle and kids to dress up like, you know, zombie Harry Potters or some shit.
Yeah. The pumpkin carving thing hasn't taken off here, which I'm happy about. I don't get that or see the point.
It's admin heavy as well.
And pumpkin's like not nearly as nice as Americans think it is, I feel like. Like they put that shit in their latte, in their fucking like desserts and stuff.
Pumpkin's cool, man. Pumpkin I got no beef
I
with
love
pumpkin.
Yeah.
Roast pumpkin and me are best friends.
I've got no beef with pumpkin, but hold on, I'm going to take this. Hello, mate. How you going? Yes, I will. I'll text that to you now. Cheers, man. Bye. Sorry for taking a call mid-podcast. But, like, they have pumpkin pie and shit, right? Like, is that good?
I just can't see it being that good unless you're just adding, like, shitloads of sugar. Because pumpkin isn't naturally sweet.
It's sweet-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, but not, like, dessert sweet. Like, sweet potato's sweet, but you wouldn't chuck that on your ice cream.
No, you wouldn't. No, you definitely wouldn't. Someone called himself the Apple Crumble Dribble. Or is that? No, that was Idris Elba and fucking...
Yeah, that was his song, yeah.
Shout out to Apple Crumble, just as a side note.
Shout out to it.
I love Apple Crumble.
All right, moving on.
I'd say so.
Hey boys, I'm pissed as fuck. I'm in the Uber at the moment. We've come across a RBT. I'm pissed as fuck, but the RBT is copping a fucking blower. Oh, yeah, good blow. Okay. I'm pissed as fuck. It was on the RBT. Look, you know, right to go soon, and we're ready to go soon. Cheers, beers. Bye.
All right, hang on. We need a reserve comment. So that dude called up with 3 dribbles.
Yeah.
The other 2 were less entertaining than that. I'm not going to play them, but I'm playing this next one, and we need to sort something out. So
okay.
Listen.
Boys, long-time listener, first-time dribbler. I've just got to say, I've just pulled over. Sorry, I'm a cop, pig, say what you want. But I've just pulled over this Uber driver in the back seat. I've got this fucking dribbler and his good-looking blonde missus fucking on the hotline dribbler, the dribbler hotline. And I just get him and he's fucking startled. Look, I'm saying, if you listen to the previous one, Dior, you got to put this in with it because, fuck me, that cunt was stunned. Anyway, boys, love what you're doing. What? Manly 13 boss. Many Manly Seagulls forever. Premiership never. Yeah. Bye.
That copper heard the guy making the call?
No, what I think has happened here is this absolutely wasted dead shit dribbler has called us from the back of an Uber while his driver's getting RBT.
Yes.
Has then called back again, not realising that it's the same number.
No, it's not the same number. This is a different number. So that dude called 3 dribbles, and then this was a separate dribbler.
Oh, this is a completely separate...
Yeah.
That
guy sounded drunk, though.
I know, that's what... So this dude was pulled over at 12:26 a.m. That's when the first dribble came in.
Yeah.
Then the dribble from the so-called cop, because I was also like, is this dude really a cop? Was at 2 a.m. So I don't know.
Okay, can we play that fucking...
12:30 and then 2 o'clock, but he wouldn't be able to call on the shift.
No, can you just play the drunk guy's dribble again? Because I want to see what the voice sounded similar. Fuck. Saints went in.
Hey boys, I'm pissed as fuck. I'm in the Uber at the moment. We've come across a RBT. I'm pissed as fuck, but the RBT is
Pause it for a sec. Can you hear someone in the background saying dribbler?
No, that's the cop talking to the driver.
I heard him say, like, how many drinks have you had tonight or something like that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
See, now play the cop's dribble.
Boys, long time listener, first time dribbler. I've just got to say, I've just pulled over. Sorry, I'm a cop, pig, say what you want. But I've just pulled over this Uber driver in the back seat. I've got this fucking dribbler and his good-looking blonde missus fucking on the hotline dribbler, the dribbler hotline. And I just get him and he's fucking startled. Look, I'm saying, if you listen to the previous one, Dior, you got to put this in with it because, fuck me, that cunt was stunned. Anyway, boys, love what you're doing. Manly 13 plus. Winning Manly Seagulls forever. Premiership never. Yeah. Bye.
I'm not sure. I don't know. He sounds a little bit pissed for me.
Well, I don't know if he sounds pissed necessarily. He did say that he's just pulled over, but it was an hour and a half later. That's ringing alarm bells for me.
Yeah.
Potentially. But then also I'm like, you wouldn't be able to get on the blower on the job.
No, you can't get back in the car and call. But he also didn't seem like he was being blatantly obvious to the cops that he was calling the Hello Sport dribbler hotline when he was in the back seat.
No, because he was whispering.
Yeah. I
don't know what to make of that.
I want to see a badge and ID number before I
Yeah. DM us your fucking badge.
Send us a
If
photo
you're
of
the
you
cop
with a
dribbler,
gun.
send in your badge.
A photo of you and your badge.
Yeah.
And your mobile number.
Yep. Interesting.
Tom, Edward, David, so Two Drink Blackout Dribbler here. Just coming in, you boys are top of the heap podcast now, and, just feel like you're becoming just out of touch with the outer skirts dribblers. David's coming through with some quality content about UFOs and shit. So, David, I think it's time to man up, bruh. Get those PowerPoints in order. Fucking pull that big dick out, and, start swinging around. We've got About Even for the punters. We've got Hello Sport for the punters and the dribblers. What about a podcast for just the fucking dribblers, Get Dave on there, spearheading it, talking like that cone rhetoric, Just think it's a great idea. I'd love to hear a bit more UFO chat, that sort of shit. So, David, time to pull your fucking finger out, mate. We know you're the bong lord, so let's contribute, hey?
What was the name that you were going to call your fucking podcast?
But like Bored to Death with Dior?
Yeah,
Is that it?
Bored to
Yeah,
Death,
Bored
and
to
it's
Death.
you as fucking Che Guevara.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone made the poster.
Well,
yeah.
listen, mate, no one's stopping Dave from starting to try and do something. If you want to give Bored to Death a go, Dave.
I mean, I would love to. Maybe not at this exact moment while I'm about to head into uni exams, but come summertime,
There you go.
I might have a lot of thoughts that need publicising.
Listen, we're happy to, we've obviously built you up to, be a leader in your community. You're a big name about town. You're pushing into lines all over the city.
Huge name. Maybe it's time. For
We don't shackle any of the people at Shane Keith Productions.
No, not at Shane Keith Productions, Tom.
You're free to fucking give anything a crack.
Not at Shane Keith Productions.
Nah.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support from the Two Drink Blackout Dribbler. Love it.
Be interested to know what would be on your podcast, Dave.
It would, I don't know. It would be just like whatever news stories I think is ridiculous or funny to talk about that week.
You're pretty vocal on your Instagram in terms of like following along in the political sphere.
Yeah, well, that stuff's always exciting, especially at the moment.
Yeah. With the Gladdy B.
Yeah, with Glad. Yeah, I did spend a lot of my week last week just watching the live ICAC stream.
Whacking off.
Yeah. As soon as every time the commissioner told Gladys like stop telling a story and answer a question, I was like, oh
Yeah, I can imagine that would have.
Bored to death with your.
Yeah. I didn't think about this till now, but I full on cut in line at VCs as well.
Of course you did, Dave. Of course
No, I
you
didn't
did.
even cut in line. Is that we were walking up to join the line.
And then you just walked all the way to the front.
Well, a couple of the mates who I was with like joined the line at the back, but then these other dudes that we knew who were inside, coming back inside from having a ciggy. So they just like nodded at the bouncers like, yeah, we just went out, and I just walked behind them and walked.
I'm more cool with that because that's bluffing. as you go, oh, I was already in with these guys. Like, we just came back out.
Yeah.
But if you just walk straight into the front of a line and just push into all these people waiting, if you can bluff your way in just on the fucking rip, I'm cool.
Yeah.
We're cool.
That was better. At least I'm getting better, not just cutting in every time.
Side note of a podcast you want to listen to, which is interesting. I just was listening to it recently. It was a Rogan's interview with Jewel. She's a fucking 90s like musician and just goes through her life. It's fucking crazy interesting. Her grandfather came over from Europe just before World War II and so they were in Canada, and like part of whatever it was done at the time, I can't remember what they called it, but they would basically just allow you to go and settle wild land. They just give you can go and fucking. So they like his grandma and grandpa trekked like 200 miles on foot through the wilderness in Canada and settled some crazy bit of land where she grew up on. Fucking, she was like a homeless transient fucking person. Started singing in cafes, got discovered, blew the fuck up. And then her mum stole 100 mil off her. Fuck. Oh my God. Anyway, it's not like I just ruined the whole thing. It's a fucking crazy, crazy yarn. I was like, this should be a fucking movie.
Yeah, well, it says on the Wikipedia page, like as you said, her grandfather moved and they took up this free land in Alaska, and he was the first person to cross the Harding ice field, which is just this massive. Like,
and he was just a fucking, just a dude who was like, I mean, obviously back in those times, like.
They're bred and tougher.
Yeah, way tougher, but like. Anyway, very interesting podcast. Let's wrap these dribbles, bro. Let's go.
Oh, punters, dribblers, Tom, Eddie, and fucking Dior Dave. Just wanted Year 12 scam hunt dribbler here. Oh, I don't know where the fuck I am, but I'm on fucking scam hunt. And I just wanted to ask you boys, Tom, how did you get over your misso breaking up with you? Because that fucking happened to me. And it fucking hurt, my guy. How did you get it back? Thank you. Andrew Voss, good commentator, underrated by you boys. Good boy! Come on!
Tom, any words of wisdom, mate?
Look, you got to go through that sort of pain, you know? You know you're alive. There's no, because he said, how do I get over it and how do I get it back? Well, to get over it, you just got to live your life day by day.
Spend a night in the bathrooms of a Bali nightclub.
Well, that didn't help. That was a low point. That
part of the journey, though.
Did that prolong the recovery process?
Yeah, I don't know. It certainly amplified the position that I was at. But you just got to go through that. Breakups, whatever you do, don't go crawling back and like fucking begging for him to take you back. Unless you're like, I mean, you can, but it's a shit fight. Because if they've just barred you, they've barred you. So just cop it, sweet, get through it. Once you're over it, you're like, I can't believe I even fucking cared. You know what I mean? Once you get through that. But getting them back, I don't know, dude. I guess you got to be undeniable.
You can't be denied. You've got to be undeniable.
You got to be undeniable. I did join a band. That was, you sort of just go on to new things. Oh, look at him now. What the fuck? He's in a band that
maybe join a band. Maybe be a drummer.
Yeah.
Maybe wear like
Singlets
a banana
and
singlet
shit.
and like show off the pipes.
Get the pipes going. Playing drums is good for the arms.
Maybe get the pipes going.
Yeah.
And then just, move
bump
on.
into them in places.
Give her space. But if you bump into her, make sure the pipes are out and about.
Yep. And it's like, oh, what have you been up to? Oh, just in a band. I don't know if you can tell. I got triceps now. I play drums. So sorry about that. Yeah. That's what you left. That's what you lost.
You've lost that. You can get it back if you want. You're going to have to work at it.
I'd also be just trying to like gauge, even though when we broke up for a year and a half, she'd still call me randomly or like, when she was out and pissed and say like, okay, well, there's obviously still something going on there. I must be at least a little bit undeniable. Whereas if your missus has just dropped you and you never heard from her again, I'd say it's safe to say it's done.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Look to the future.
Move on.
Pack your dilly sack or whatever it is, your bindle.
And on you
hit
go.
the road.
Also, you're young, bro.
Yeah.
You'll be right.
You'll be fine.
You'll be absolutely fine.
You'll be okay.
On we go.
Probably.
Maybe not. Hope you are.
Women's Game Dribbler here. Eddie, Dave, you told me, unless you told me Turbo. Just want to discuss
Oh,
the
that's
comparisons of pickup lines
drive by.
between country and city folk to pick up a fellow potential companion. City folk have the usual, you want to kick on, back to yours, maybe back to mine. Then the country folk have the typical, you want to chop, you want to hit the butte, girl, you must be my cousin because I want to do you, or you ride me so hard, they'll have to take me out the back and shoot me. It happens, and I do turn these blokes down. Well, usually turn them down, but it's because I'm Tommy Turbo forever. But how would you country folk, Tommy and Eddie, handle this? Like, what was your go-to pickup line? Then to disappoint everyone, how would you hit the butte, Dave, in this situation? I actually want to hear each of your pitches. Premierships forever, Tommy Turbo forever, wooden spoons, never.
All right.
I don't think I was ever a pickup line guy.
No, nor was I.
Like, I didn't have the one-liner.
I didn't have
in the duffel.
Well, I didn't have the confidence to deliver
No,
one-liners.
fuck no. I was pretty. It took me a while to come out of my shell, and I certainly wasn't fucking rolling around with a duffel bag full of one-liners.
No.
You got to be pretty. You got to be a pretty suave operator to at least.
No,
at least you think you got to think highly enough of yourself.
That a one-liner's good. That's all it takes is a one-liner.
Yeah, exactly right.
I was never
That
confident.
I'm literally one line away from betting you.
Yeah, I was never confident enough to deliver a one-liner, nor was I confident enough in the one-liner as an approach, as a tactic. Now, I'm sure it works for some out there. Certainly as well if you're asking for like a city boy, country boy context. I was from a country town. I didn't exactly have hay bales on the property, you know what I mean? So I didn't have like a, you want to come down to the fucking barn? So, you know.
Do you want to come down to the barn?
Well, now that I'm a barn horse, Eddie.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
I don't know. But I'm
Sure.
saying I don't have, again, didn't use them, but didn't have country specific, you know?
I heard something once. This could be complete bullshit. But apparently the guys that started Three Blue Ducks.
Cafe?
Yeah. Was because one of their pickup lines to get girls like at a park they used to drink in, like to get them away for, some hanky-panky was, do you want to come see the Three Blue Ducks? Like there's Three Blue Ducks down at this park.
So they just lie about where these ducks are.
Yeah.
Do we know the people that started this? They're probably like, that's not what we did.
I don't know who they are. I don't know them personally. I just heard that once on the fucking grapevine. Could be complete bullshit.
Could be complete bullshit.
Oh, no, there's some stuff online which might confirm this.
Okay, there you go. So it was like just a complete lie. Trying to come say Three Blue Ducks. Again, a little bit fucking... I've never used a pickup line. I've just never used one.
I've never used one.
I've never used one.
Never in my life.
No. So it's not even about like, I can't go with you on this one, pickup line dribblette, because I don't have any. You always heard cheesy ones in like movies and shit.
I'd say this. If you hear them, they must work to some degree.
I would say that they would work far, far less than they would work. I would say the majority of times they do not work.
Or are they a good icebreaker?
Maybe it's the icebreaker. So it's not like they're just...
No, it's not like you say it and then you're off to bed.
No.
I don't think that's the reality. I think it's I've broken the ice. Maybe you're a bit of a funny guy.
Isn't it like, what's the one where it's like, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm Tom. Saw that one in a movie. You're just like, come on, dude.
Icebreakers in and of themselves are pretty interesting as well.
Well, see, but I wonder whether I would be much more like, what's more appealing? Someone just coming up and talking to you? Because that was what I would do.
Well, yeah, that's what
I would just come up and speak to you.
Like these icebreakers, like stuff like that.
100%.
You get through them, the ice is broken, and then you have to start a conversation.
That's it.
That
So you
doesn't
just
start a conversation. That just breaks the ice.
You may as well just go up and say,
When
"What's
does
up?"
the ice need breaking?
The initial...
But there's not always ice that needs to be broken, surely.
Well, I believe it is just that initial contact would be breaking the ice. And you're going to know very soon after that whether there's any fucking interest. Unless you are someone who just like, over the course of an evening manages to like woo someone. Initially they're like not interested, and then eventually they are. But yeah, I always just sort of found from memory, again, would just be like to actually go up and speak to them. Or it's when you're fucking hammered.
Well, it's all, no, you need a bit of liquid courage.
Definitely.
Liquid courage, 100%.
Actually, to your point that you were making the dribble before, and because I guess she asked me as well, the like best success rate I've ever had with any assistive tool in helping me pick up was playing the guitar. I went on like a good streak in high school where there was like a talent show, so I played on stage at school, and then I played at our graduation, and like I did a few live performances.
Oh yeah.
And then there were, so that worked.
Muso
Better than any
Dave.
pickup line, yeah.
That was your pickup line, mate.
That was my peak as
Yeah.
well.
Guitar Hero Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's, you know.
Will you ever, Dave, whip the guitar out at like
A
kick-ons and serenade?
Nah, I was
Bullshit.
No,
definitely
but also
does.
not. Yeah, I mean, so I was never one to like pick up the guitar and start like singing songs or some shit. But my HSC piece, which was Ocean by John Butler, which I played at our graduation, and I did like another assembly performance after our formal, like, and after the after party or whatever. A few of us ended back up at my house. And I played that Ocean and did end up going to bed with another person's date that night.
Oh, Dave, you're cutting lines and grass and everything. You're an absolute monster, dude. What the fuck? On the guy's formal night as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it
all of our
worked.
well,
Well, I know
he
you
had
can't help
left-
it.
He had left, she had stayed, my date had left.
Oh, okay, well, that's
Yeah.
all right.
Oh,
and
yeah,
look, I
it
mean,
wasn't
ultimately, if two consenting young adults want a chong,
Yeah.
then just because you came with someone else's date, that's tough titties. But Dave's certainly painting a picture of himself as one of the great line cutters.
One of the great cutters.
One of the great cutters across the board.
I also used to wear sunglasses on stage when I played.
I get that,
What
dude.
sort of sunnies?
They were like
Ray-Bans.
No, they
Aviators.
were cheap. I got them at like H&M, but they were like that blue greeny reflecty type thing.
Oh, the oilies.
Yeah, they were like the fucking like normal ones, whatever you call them.
Yeah, but oily
Yeah, I know the
lenses.
lens.
Yeah,
I know the lens.
Yeah, the
lens.
oilies.
Yeah.
That's like a fucking...
I'll try to dig up a photo because there was a few.
I'd love to see
I'd
it.
love to see a photo.
Dior Dave, Guitar Hero.
I hope we've helped. Probably haven't.
But like the dribble nonetheless. Thanks as well to, I think the dude's name was Matteo down at Clavelli, the Clavelli Hotel, hooking us up with a spot and a couple of brews. Hospitality was fantastic.
Terrific.
We'll definitely be going back there.
100%.
Pommy Dribbler here. You lot, shithouse. Zampa will be having nightmares of Joss Butler. What to even say? England forever. Convict colony. T20 wins never. Thanks, boys.
Was that a poem?
That seemed like a poem, but I was trying to work out whether it was a poem or whether it was someone trying to be a poem.
But why would he call up giving us licks if he wasn't a poem?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was trying to, it sounded like Sam Burgess.
Assuming that was licks.
Yeah, no one could understand what he was saying. That's
Just
the problem.
wait till the real. Wait till the Ashes, mate.
Well, this is what you call an early crow when a poem gets happy about a fucking World Cup T20 group game.
Yeah. That's not a good sign.
No, that's a terrible sign.
That's not a good sign.
That's as early as a crow.
Oh,
crows.
that's an early crow. Oh, that's an early crow.
That's a dawn crow.
If you know anything about early crows, bad things follow. That's not looking good for England.
No, it's not. Terrible.
Terrible for England. On we go. To glory.
Tom, Eddie Dior. Just following up to the dribble from last week, the fellow dribbler at the Rag and Fanish looked at a big come on. That was me on the other end of the come on. Unfortunately, it was about 12 beers deep at this point, so it took about 5 seconds to register what was going on, realise what shirt I was wearing, and to come on. So I do apologise to that fellow dribbler. Didn't quite connect there. Did realise about 5 minutes later what was going on. So it was a missed opportunity. But when you see a fellow dribble in the wild, should be honoured and respected. See you soon.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of that. He's called up. He's owned his mistakes.
Yeah.
Owned a horrible wrong.
Yeah.
And he's going to be better for it. You know that.
100%.
He's going to be 100% better for it.
Next time he gets come on at a pub, especially if he's wearing a fucking Beer Soon shirt, then I think he's going to be ready to return serve, as it were.
To use a horse term, Tom, he's probably better for the run.
Better for the run. On those, got a few photos sent in over the weekend. There were some Manly boys ripping and tearing in Manly on the weekend, adorned in the Hello Sport, Bloke in a Bar, Dirty Merger Podcast, Beer Soon t-shirts. Of Tom Trebojevic fame, of Lachlan Croker fame. Some real hot boys out and about.
Yeah.
Repping
it. Love to see it.
You love to see it.
Got to respect it.
Do respect it.
I do. I respect it.
I
You
love it
respect
and
it. We
respect
respect it. We all respect
Yeah,
it.
Love and respect.
Love and respect. Love and respect. Love and
respect.
Respect. On we go.
Tom, Eddie, D or Dave, punters and dribblers. It's the Bring Back Mooney dribbler here. Look, I'll keep it short and sweet. Look, I went back to my hometown on the weekend and I met up with a girl that I used to talk to from eons ago, and she's just recently, split up with her partner, but they've still got a young kid together. Anyway, I was getting into my best work on the Aloia front, and I got a little mouthful of human milk, and I just thought, fuck, this is rare. This is something that I've never come across before, and I didn't know how to take it. And I thought I'd pose the question to you, Tom, being a father of two. Mate, have you ever fucking had a go on the human milk before? So, cheers. Love your work. See you soon.
I mean, fucking hell. This podcast, Eddie, I don't know what's going on. So is he saying that he hooked up with a chick who was a breastfeeding mother and managed to just get a mouthful of the good stuff? It's very good for you, apparently.
I don't know if it was a whole mouthful, but definitely a little dribble.
Well, he said the way he described it, a mouthful of human milk, just sounded weird. Yeah, bro, I've tried it. It's fucking all right. It's like it's nothing. It just is what it is. But apparently, like, its healing properties and like its sort of benefits, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not already happening. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already happening. Of like adult humans getting on, like people starting to like sell their titty milk.
They
or something.
do.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah. People used to work out and shit.
It's like a pre-workout.
Well, if it's a pre-workout, but I remember seeing a documentary about a guy who like buys it.
Oh, that's right. Actually, yeah, I think bodybuilders get on the titty milk.
Yeah.
Because like it's actually crazy good for you, and it makes sense, right? Brand new humans, that's all they have, and it just fuels them. They grow, fucking putting on weight, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've tried it. I've only tried it once. It's not something I'm super keen to keep trying. That being said, like they were even saying like you could put it on your psoriasis and see how it goes, and I was like, I'll probably hold off on the titty milk on my face.
Oh my God.
I'll just probably not do that, but I appreciate people trying to further the fucking, science around it.
Yeah, trying to push the boundaries.
Trying to push the
possible.
boundaries. I'm just not going to start squirting booby milk on my face for...
Fair enough.
In the pursuit of a cure for psoriasis. That's not my place in the world.
No.
I'm not here to cure psoriasis.
No.
I'm here to hear about the cure and then fucking... If it's
Not
booby
do
milk,
anything about
if
it.
it's booby milk, we'll do it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Tell
Thanks
me-
for the
mate,
dribble.
If you tell me that booby milk cures your psoriasis, I'll be fucking having booby milk bars.
All right, last one.
Punters and dribblers, Tom and Eddie, D or Dave. Just a quick one on the Scotland being absolute beaters chat. I wonder if this is part of a sort of strategy for Scotland to achieve its national independence and give a massive up yours to the Ponies. We know that they fucking hate England. Obviously, cricket is an English sport. Football, arguably, started and, perfected by the Ponies at an early level. Do you think that they're just being beat up on purpose so they can say, fuck you, England, we don't like English sport? And then also, I think potentially they're being shit at sport on purpose so that they can stop the fucking Poms from roping them into Great Britain to claim their successes. Anyway, just a thought. See you soon.
To me, that guy sounds like he has Scottish heritage and he's just trying to make excuses.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying it necessarily because it doesn't explain the Andy Murray situation.
Well, we're being beta on purpose. Okay, bro.
Someone pointed out that we forgot Colin McRae.
Sure.
I'm like, okay.
Has he passed away?
I think he might have.
Was that like a recent thing?
I don't think so. I think it was a little bit of
Was it like a car crash thing though?
I think so. Yeah.
Heavy.
I think so.
In 2007.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, Varley, Colin McRae. But I think that punter there or dribbler there is definitely Scottish and is just trying to make excuses.
Mm-hmm. Sounded like excuses.
That sounded like a Scotland excuse. You know what else it sounds like, Eddie? Sounds like us done.
I think it's time to go.
I think it's time to go. We've done well.
We've done
to
very
get to
well.
this stage.
Huge lift.
Huge fucking lift. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you're here, if you've made it this far, good on you. Thanks to the sponsors as always, Eddie.
As always.
About Even is on podcast, is on YouTube. Head to our YouTube for the full videos of podcasts. Like, subscribe. Head to the fucking YouTube for About Even. Like, subscribe. Head to your podcast platform of choice for Hello Sport and About Even. Like, subscribe, 5 stars, or whatever the fuck it is.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?